Are you ready? Can Crush Us. It don't really get no better than this the podcast that you're looking for if you're really heavy into wrestling. Hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock them out like boom bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Got a shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody. Power driving, hit them with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break them, let's go. Yeah. Can Crushers. Yeah. Can Crushers, let's go.
Hey, this is former WWE superstar Duke the Dumpster Drosy, and you are listening to the Can Crushers Podcast.
Hello! Welcome back to Can Crushers. Yeah, we return. Hello. Hope everybody had a great 2 weeks off. Merry Christmas, and, well, hell, you guys are going to be celebrating it before we come back. Happy New Year!
Yeah, happy fucking New Year, everybody. Here, I'll get it out of the way right away. Hope you guys enjoyed the holiday season. I think we've had better ones, or at least some of us have.
Yeah, guys, thanks for the little shuffle that we couldn't do as Can Crushers because I'm going to go first.
Go for it.
Everybody is, there's some people that follow me normally, whatever. Listen, this will be a train fucking wreck because I just got done calling 3 basketball games. Literally rolled in. I had the wife have the light on, the computer on, in a liquid death setting here to record. We're late at night. It's the only time we can squeeze it in. So let's fucking go. Happy. If this was December 15th, not so happy. What are you laughing at? Are you dying?
I'm joking.
Oh, fuck.
I'm better. That water went down the wrong tube, but yeah.
All right. So let's just get everybody caught up. December 14th, you guys heard a spotlight with Shelby Waters. Awesome. Amazing spotlight. The next day, I'm on the back of the garbage truck. I got a stomach ache. It's snowing, it's raining, it's misting, it's shitting all over the place. We get the route done. Mark's like, I'm peacing out. Mark pieces out. Come home, showers, and kind of just like starts laying around. Doubles over on the couch. Okay? Wife looks at me because I've had a stomach ache now for approximately a month. Jenks can attest to this. I can bring the wife down right now. She can attest to this. Stubborn, stupid, but I thought maybe I just did something. Lo and behold, did I do something? We go to the hospital, and the nurse like, you're pretty doubled over, pretty bad. I said, yeah. I said, I either have a hernia or my appendix is going to blow. I skipped triage. I skipped the little room in the ER, and they sent me right to a CAT scan. Jenks is now getting text messages from my wife.
Yep.
Holy shit. His mind's being blown.
I'm worrying like shit because holy fuck.
Right.
I was scared because I didn't know what the hell was going on. But go on.
Come back. The guy in the CAT scan's like, this appendix is already gone. Roll me back into the ER. Now it's a waiting game for the doctor to get done the surgery that he's doing to roll my ass into the OR. And it's a Martinez curse. And I'm sorry to say it like this, but the person that he's having surgeries on, he's having complications in that surgery, delaying me getting into the OR. So I'm getting antsy, knowing that the appendix is already ruptured. Who knows how long? Literally, who knows how long? So there's a possibility I'm dying. And if you think I'm fabricating this, you can legit talk to Jenks. The wife
Yep.
texts him. I'll bring the wife on next week to tell everybody this is what's going on. So I could be dead. Finally roll into the OR, 6:30 at night. As I'm rolling in, the nurse is like, honey, this is only an hour thing. You're good to go. And she turns on the drugs, and I don't remember anything until it's midnight when I'm rolling back into my room to spend the night. And they're like, you don't know how lucky you are. And I'm like, what happened to my life? Where did 6 hours go? What the fuck's going on? Yeah. Appendix, colon, and a power wash is what I heard the first night is what happened to me on the inside. Could have died. I'm all right from the appendix. Found out the wife and the doctor have schemed to hide something from me until a couple days later. Another nurse asked, hey, honey, your mom has done this whole thing like 15 years ago. And then the nurse is like, did you get your cancer results yet?
Oh.
What are you talking about? What cancer results? Oh, no. I probably shouldn't have said anything. So now I'm awake that whole night because she came in at like 8 o'clock. I'm up until the wee hours of morning when the wife comes over and the doctor comes back over. I look at both of them and I'm like, you two going to tell me something? What's going on? They both know instantly then. Shouldn't have said anything. Shouldn't have tried to hide it. Guys, and I'm all in good spirits because on December 23rd, after I get kicked out of the hospital because I had then eaten and done everything that I needed to do, I do get the results back. I am cancer free. We just left Petco and the doctor called me. So we had a great cry, Kelly and I, in the parking lot of Petco for about 5 minutes of a relief because if you know me personally and my family personally, we have had every type of cancer, and I'm not joking, from brain cancer to toe cancer. So my chances of getting cancer on my mom's side are 1 million to 1 million. You know, it's a 1-for-1 type of deal thing. So that was wearing on me, and a couple nights of, listen, I'm going to be gross because we're going to get into the crushes and I'm going to rock this goddamn podcast today. So from either end, puke, shit, runny nose, runny ear. There was a night that I was just, if it was an orifice, something was coming out of it. But the following day, I started doing stuff Mark's way. I didn't have to do, I have not been on drugs. Not those drugs. I have not been on drugs for about a week and a half now, and I feel good. I really do feel good. I lost my little vacuum pump that I got sent home with as of today, recording today, and I decided, screw it, I'm going to go back to basketball today. And I get to go back to work Monday just to drive. So, Christmas miracle, horrible Christmas, but I'm alive, and it's probably time to change my lifestyle.
Yeah.
A little bit. 45, a hell of a cancer scare. Skull, Red Man, and all of those will not be getting any money anymore. I am now on Black Leaf Snuff, and it's just to get ready. Here come the jokes from the peanut gallery. It's to get my oral fixation out of the way for a while, and then I hope I'm not doing those either. I hope I'm going to turn into Lou Ferrigno. I don't know if I'm going to go that far, but yeah. Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you for everybody who reached out personally and through emails and everything because you saw videos and everything. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I love you. That means the world. That, listen, I'm a podcaster, and I don't know you personally, but some of the letters and everything you guys sent are awesome. Thank you. If that deterred everybody from calling in and doing your Crushie Awards, Mark the Mark hates you, but I love the notes and everything you sent me. And Jenks, I love you for keeping my head where it needed to be over a couple days.
I love you too, of course. That's what I'm here for. Support you in everything you need. Thank you for everybody that reached out to you as well. But at the end of the day, we all love you, Mark. Even if you're just the podcaster that does this twice a week with the spotlights and the rambling on with me incoherently, you're loved, you're respected, and we care about you.
I don't know about respected.
I respect you. I mean, come on, that's
hat-trick,
maybe hat trick. He didn't respect you enough to call in though, but we'll throw that. We'll be joking wise.
I'm not.
But I'm just glad you're back. I'm glad you're doing better. You're on the up and up, and you're moving right along. I was surprised how long it took you to get back, but having other operations going on, but for the other surgeon in that makes sense. When I had my appendix scare, it took them 8 hours to just see me beforehand. So I was literally in the waiting room for 8 hours.
Really?
Yeah. And then they finally tested me, and it was 11:30 at night. They were like, "Oh God, we got to do something," and that's when they took me back. So I'm thankful you got it handled, even though it took a little bit longer to get back there. You got it taken care of within a reasonable amount of time.
But yours didn't burst prior, did it?
No, but it was about to. So where it was at was I was actually 3 days. The Sunday night, so I had it taken out on Wednesday. The Sunday night was when I spiked the fever and the stomach pain started. And it got progressively worse to Wednesday, where I was double over. I was barely moving or wasn't doing anything. All I remember that day was sitting there trying to watch the Big East conference tournament, basketball, the Big East, and watching Houston. I think UConn was playing in the afternoon or something like that. But yeah, so then I went to the hospital. 8 hours later, they're like, "Oh shit, we got to take this out." And then they did something about it. So I'm just glad they got you back. They recognized that, hey, this is serious. We have to do something quickly. Took some time for the doctor, but man, oh man, that was a scary night. I remember I was staying up because I'm a old man. I go to sleep kind of early, but I remember I was staying up because I was like, I need to hear back that you're at least fine. And then when Kelly texted me, I think it was 11:30 or something like that at night. I'm like, thank God, because I was worried. I was just worried sick that whole day because I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know what was happening with you. We were talking back and forth, but I'm just glad everything worked out. And you're here now, getting ready to do some Crushie Awards and fucking get ready to do the garbage truck again and make your triumphant return to basketball.
Yeah.
But wait, let's talk about now. You made your triumphant return to basketball. Was there, streamers? I would have thrown a party for you. Some big entrance pop, fireworks, pyro.
People are actually shocked. And I'm not gloating, patting myself. They're like, "Are you really back, or are you just back for?" It's a tournament this weekend. It's the El County Holiday Tournament, so it's a big to-do in El County. So I would never miss that. Like, even if I had to bring, Kelly named my vacuum Monty for some reason. I don't know why. So even if I had to bring Monty with me, I was going to this fucking tournament because this is my favorite thing for basketball until we get into playoffs and everything. So I was going at least to sit there like the old man in the front row and, with sweatpants on.
Yeah.
Today I put on a pair of jeans for the first time in 2 weeks. I am not a jeans guy, but you know how much it was nice to put on jeans? Because it's another step to normalcy.
Yeah.
Right? Fuck that. For the 4 games tomorrow, I'm wearing shorts. It was so goddamn hot in that gymnasium. I'm stupid. I should have known better.
Your mind's still not in the right place from the surgery.
No, not at all. I thought, all right, I'm going to go back to do. But coaches had heard because the other guys at the radio station were like, we're not sure if we're going to be able to stream this because this is what happened to Mark and da-da-da-da. So, like, coaches came up, they're like, are you going to push this or what? I'm like, dudes, listen, I lost my pump today. I'm all in. I do need extra water and extra food. Still trying to balance out life and, like, not overeating, not undereating. So,
right.
Not going to lie, I got a little woozy in between game 1 and game 2 because I didn't have anything by me. Again, the whole day has just been doctor back to work to give I'm allowed to go back to work to the real boy job. Head back over to the basketball game. Oh shit, the game started. Mark doesn't have a drinks up here for anything for game 1. All right, the game went real quick. Oh, they're starting game 2 ahead of time. Okay, cool. Let's go. Mark doesn't get a drink for this one. Timeout. I see a kid. I send the kid to get me something to eat and drink just so I have something to munch on during the game. And then game 3 goes into overtime, and now we're here where we bumped our recording time essentially 2 hours, 15 minutes.
Yeah. Which is fine. I mean, I was flexible. I'm totally off this week, so I had nothing going on. So actually, but yeah, that was good. I mean, you got to remember now, do you just get it from the concession stands, or are you going to pack something going forward?
Well, today I did concession stand because I'm an idiot, but okay. I know that tomorrow I can't spend 8 hours there again eating pizza and stuff like that. So I need to be smart and bring, maybe a granola bar.
Yeah.
Or I'll buy water there or Gatorade.
Yeah.
Trying not to drink pops either, just something like that. But yeah, I'm really, I'm not turning into Lou Ferrigno, but I'm just going to be smarter about everything because this was a major scare for me. It really was.
I think it'd be a major scare for anybody. And having to carry around the money in the bank briefcase for 2 weeks is not ideal.
They get to set it down at least during the matches.
Yeah, right.
The fucking thing was like a hose attached to me. Sleeping was miserable. I slept on the couch. Not that I don't mind sleeping on the couch, but when you're forced to sleep on the couch, it sucks.
Yeah.
When you fall asleep just randomly on the couch, it's the best sleep of your lifetime.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's me. How is your stuff? Oh, but by the way, how is your Christmas? And then I want to tell you about some of the things that I got for Christmas.
Okay. Then I'll save my Christmas list too. I got to pull it up because I took a picture. Oh, I have it over here. But my 2 weeks has been.
As you're talking, I'm going to get them. So I'm listening.
You go for it. My Christmas has been pretty good these past 2 weeks. I guess we'll start. I took this past week off, just enjoying finally a vacation, week and a half. I've been off since last Thursday, just enjoying life in general. Outside of that, just bebopping along, nothing too crazy. Family get-togethers, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and ended up going to see the girlfriend today. And it's been a big day today. Went down to Meadville to see the girlfriend. Was late getting back to my mom's house, moving out furniture from there. So we were moving furniture out of my mom's house so she can get new furniture tomorrow morning. And now I'll be back there tomorrow to get the furniture. They're going to deliver it. So I really am just there for just standing around and that.
You're going to be a shuffle guy. They put it in there. The mom's going to be like, it's fine. But when they leave, they're like, Michael, can you shuffle it 3 inches to the left?
She says she has the plan down, what she wants and how she wants it. I know for a fact I'm going to have to shuffle here, there, and everywhere.
I love your mom, but get ready. Again, she's still a woman, man. She's going to, it doesn't, yeah.
You know what?
I'm not being sexist, but you know what I mean. They just change the way they do it all the time.
The fun part of this all, it's her birthday today. So Mama Jenks is 64 today. So
happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Mama Jenks. Thank you. Yeah. So that's been my week. Just craziness, bouncing around. Middle of what we were supposed to get is a winter snow Arctic blast, and we barely got maybe 3 inches on the ground up here in parts unknown. It was just a snowdrift. It was whiteout conditions Friday, Saturday, half a day, Saturday night into Sunday. It was kind of whiteout. It was in whiteout conditions, but it was just blowing the snow around. Like if I looked at the roads, barely anything covering them. I think we may have had 2 to 3 inches up here at most. But I know Meadville got hit.
Where are you now? We record on a Thursday.
I'm at home. I'm back home.
Shit.
So.
I mean, weather. I hate you.
I know. Weather-wise, we're 50 degrees when I last checked. It's
Yeah.
melting. I'm like, what the hell is this? And I checked the weather forecast. It's supposed to be 50s the rest of the weekend. Rain, I think, is going to be in there.
Wednesday down here.
Into Wednesday, I think it is into Wednesday up here too. But I'm like, what the hell was that? So we get blasted with negative 1, 5, 6 degrees up here.
Yep.
One weekend. The next weekend, it's 50,
Suntan
60 degrees.
lotion.
Suntan lotion, outside, sleeveless shirts. I know I'm going to be rocking shorts. I'm probably going to be stuffed up like a mother effer this next weekend because that's how it goes. As soon as the weather shifts like that, signing things complete shit. So yeah, so you guys 50s through the next week, but what did you get? Did you get hit hard with snow or no?
A dusting. I'll put it at that. Maybe 2 at most inches.
Yeah.
But it was just the negativity. I mean, my house, when I say it was like 60 degrees in here, it's cold.
Yeah.
We normally, in the winter, we keep it 70, 75. And people, listen, we pay the gas bills. If you're like, Jesus Christ, why do you keep it so hot? Because we have old floors. Once our floors get cold, pack up and move for the winter. Because they're like iced over. So we keep it warm. So it got down to like 60s in here. I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible because the basement isn't heated. I'm not going to put anything in the basement. There's plans to, shuffle out of Ridgeway here soon and da-da-da-da-da. So we're not putting a lot into this house anymore. That's it. We're done with it. So it was cold. Like it was just like double blanket at night cold. And I'm sleeping downstairs with 2 blankets. They're upstairs. The dog's paws are freezing outside. So it was so damn cold. Ethan's carrying Miggy in because it was negative ass degrees outside. His paws started to freeze in the snow.
Bailey. So this was the whole thing. Bailey, when I go to let her out, leash is frozen. Clasp is frozen. It's not going to shut. It's not going to open. Can't do anything. I resorted to getting a big ass lighter and was just sitting there warming it till it popped. Then you can only get it halfway open, but it's enough to get it around the ring. So I'm like, all right, fine, done. Good. This dog runs outside, starts rolling in the snow and just gallivanting about. I'm like, dude, it's -1. Get your ass back in here. No, she's bebopping around, does her business, then she comes in.
She turned into a husky all of a sudden?
Yeah, pretty much. And then, without the screaming and yelling of a husky. But then it's so cold out that the clasp freezes again. So now it's attached to her collar. So I have to undo her collar, get her in the house, do the lighter thing again to pop it off the collar, and then I'm good for another 4 hours. Put the collar back on her, another 4 hours. She had a sweater on, and I'm like, I swear to God, because I had recently just bought her an AirTag as well. Now, she's microchipped, but when I start doing things in Meadville during the summer with my girlfriend and her family, her mom's fence line's not that high. So if she pops out, I want to be able to track her easier than. Yeah. So I bought her an AirTag, and I'm like, I swear to God, if this AirTag freezes up and doesn't work after this goddamn winter storm, after 2 weeks, I'm like, God damn it. Just spent $30 on this thing, but it still works. Yeah, she was having the time of her life. She loves the snow. She will go out and try to eat it as she's walking.
That's Max.
Yeah.
Miggy's over it. That his birthday is January 1st. So, in 2 days as recording, but like tomorrow when you guys are listening to this, Miggy will be 10 years old. Done. If it's below 10, he's pissing as he walks off the porch, doing a turn and walking right back in. He doesn't need any of this anymore.
No.
Max is all about the same way Bailey is.
Yeah.
Let's roll around. Let's be an idiot. Let's eat it.
Do whatever.
Yellow and mellows, whatever. So, Christmas overall, good. We couldn't do presents likewise. So the family kind of contacted a seller for me.
Okay.
And because we were going to go shopping like 2 days after I got sick, but that all got squashed. Spend a little time together, me and the wife, and do some cool things for the son. So once I got sick, the wife and the mother-in-law and the son decided we're going to contact somebody and go nuts for Mark doing what Mark would like. So, you guys can't see them. Jenks will, and I've already hung a couple up, so you should realize what I'm going to talk about. Okay. We got a Rusev Day.
Oh, fantastic. That's a good one.
We got Cassidy.
In a fucking Gene mask, nonetheless.
Statlander.
Oh, that's a cool one.
Darby Allin.
Oh, look at that. Okay, nice. Black and white, too. That was black and white.
My man crush is already hung up. Sammy Guevara. One of his first times when he came out in AEW with the panda thing on.
Oh, okay.
Who I'll show you in time. I will.
Yeah.
You knew that one was that had to be instantly framed. Boom, put away. And I got a Dakota Kai already made
nice.
the women's wall. As I look, I think that's it until we get to the creme de la creme. You just made the fucking list.
The list? Oh my God. Jericho with the list of Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, and Doink and Dink. That was the other one. I think the guy just threw that one in to be an asshole. But yeah. So I have done some rearranging over the last couple of days. I took some down. I really wanted to make sure my man crush got put in. I don't know where I'm going to put Jericho. There's like just shit's going to be awry over here for the next couple of days until I figure out where I'm going to go. But I had to get Sammy up.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
Sammy's not like right underneath Ty. So I had to
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So that was kind of like my Christmas haul.
Nice.
I guess that's the best way to get awesome autographs is to get sick.
I advise never to do that again, but okay.
Right. Yeah, I just waited for these, but they're like, we didn't know to get you. So we looked around and we knew you like this person, this person, this person. So they went with it. And I'm glad it's actually Rusev than Miro.
Yeah.
Because Miro's time is coming to an end, I think.
Yeah, I don't think he's lasting too much longer. But
how about your haul?
My haul, not as exciting as your haul. I got my official old man gift of an electric carving knife, so I have that now. So I had way too much fun at
that sounds like
Thanksgiving.
An amazing thing to play with.
Listen, I had a lot of fun with it at Thanksgiving using my brother-in-law's, and then again on Christmas Day. And then when I got my own, I was so excited. It was pretty. I reached that limit in my life. I got a bunch of other stuff. Some Beatles. I got a record clock from my sister that's Beatles. So basically, they took the Abbey Road album and cut it into a record. I'll have to send you a picture of it, but it's beautifully done. It's a clock. So it's a clock face in the middle of it, Abbey Road behind it, and then it just says Beatles on top of it. So it's pretty nicely done in that. Yeah, so I got that hung up in the office with Magical Mystery Tour metal sign in that. My cousin made me, because he's big into woodworking. I'll throw it out there. Jenks Woodworking, fantastic. He does great work with flags and everything like that. He actually made me a home plate. Yeah, right. Right. He made me home plate with Tampa Bay's logo on it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Give me a second. I'll go grab it real quick. It's on the wall.
As he goes to get that, guys, we hope you had a great Christmas. I will say this as he's bringing this in right now. I'm slightly disappointed in all of you. And we'll get to that when we get into the segment. So just realize I'm disappointed in Can't Crush Your Nation. So go ahead.
He's not mad. He's disappointed.
Yeah, I'm a dad.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that is awesome.
Yeah. Now, he made...
Like the of it. I love that the colors are just there.
Yep. He made actual flags for the football team. So he got my brother-in-law a Browns one. He made a flag out of it, and it did the Browns logo on it, and then he did a couple other ones like that for everybody around the family, for all the guys around the family. So those turned out pretty well. And then, I got a bunch of other stuff, but I think the biggest one I kind of liked, it was
you hated all the other ones?
No, I loved them. I loved all my gifts, to be honest. But this one was more of it wasn't a Christmas gift. It was, hey, thank you for helping us out throughout the year, because I do a lot for my sister in that. They actually, and because I hand shovel everything around my house, they bought me an electric snowblower to use. Yeah, so it's a nice little mini one. It's pretty nice. They didn't have to do that, but they wanted to say thank you, so that's what they did for me. So,
how'd your brother love everything that was dropped off at your house? That's a story within itself, right?
Oh my God. Well, we talked about that story too, because everybody remembers the Blackstone story. So we regaled everybody on Christmas Day of how everything was dropped off at 6:10 in the morning at my house, and I had to load it in by myself. He was laughing hysterically. But because he didn't have to move a fucking thing, so he didn't care. But
win for him.
Oh, exactly. I had to load it back up in the truck, take it to my sister Jess's house, unload it there. And she's like, "Oh, thanks for doing that." I'm like, "Well, I didn't really have a choice, but it's all good." But he loved it. He appreciated that. So he was a big fan of it. And I don't know where he's got a whole patio set up. So I'm guessing it's gonna make the patio of grills that he has going on right now.
The patio of grills.
He's got a regular grill. He also has a turkey fryer, basically, that he has stored out there. They have a hot tub. It's basically a nice little party area that they have. So this is just going to be added to it, I believe. So it'll be the patio of grills.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, so
there you go, folks. You're caught up.
Yeah, that's what we've been doing. Nothing much.
Death to Christmas to basketball games. There's our 2 weeks.
I think if it wasn't for the Crushie Awards, I think that would be the name of the podcast.
It really would. Yes, Christmas in basketball. All right. So you guys want to know why I'm disappointed in you? We'll tell you right now before we go to our break and start the Crushies. I'm disappointed in all the long-time listeners. Guys, we haven't changed the way we've done the Crushies in 5 fucking years. You call in. Well, first of all, we tell you you guys even had weeks this time instead of like a day and a half. We give you the categories. Wrestler of the Year, Women Wrestler of the Year, Tag Team of the Year. Blah, 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 blah. We give those to you. We want to hear your opinions. You guys did great last year. We had 6 or 7 people call in?
Yeah, 6 or 7. We went through the entire list. They were great, full list.
Emails.
And we had Cody give 5 calls. I mean, last year too.
It was last year.
Yeah.
It was. So if you're a new listener, I'm not throwing shade at you. And if you just wanted to call in and say, because I got a lot of these. My favorite wrestler is T. Gaines. I want to vote for her. I want to vote for Shelby Waters. I want to vote for Jock Sampson for Interview of the Year. That's cool. You guys all give me one-offs. I wasn't going to play 6 one-offs. I'm sorry. I wanted, 2-3 minutes. I would have played 2 and been happy with it if you guys would have. So screw yourselves. All of you. Disappointed. I'm mad at you. Disappointed. Remember this for next year, because we're not changing our way.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah, it's a simple concept. Here's the categories. Tell me who you think your Wrestler of the Year is, your Women's Wrestler of the Year, and you get 3 minutes on our show just to ramble. You didn't do it right. You didn't understand the assignment this year. I don't know. So nonetheless, Jenks and I will cover this. We'll have fun.
Yeah.
We're sorry that we're not on video yet, because that was kind of our hope, but that went to shit. And 2, popping bottles, because that also went to shit. Appendixes blowing up or just something that messes up the world. So we don't care. We'll get there. We'll get to this whole concept of, us changing it and changing the wrestling world and having fun. So let's get the garbage out of the way, Jenks. All right?
Let's do it.
You can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, everywhere podcasts are. You can listen to us. Like, subscribe, do all that cool stuff. Rate us. Tell us how much you hate me, you love Jenks, vice versa, whatever. Give us 5 stars. Continue to do this all year. Share our podcast. Tell people about us because we like to grow, and we want you to grow with us. We want you more on our show. That number is always out there. So call, leave us messages, do Ask Can Crushers more. If you want us to do a weekly question, that's cool too. 814-299-6687. That's the number. Call in, do all that. Reach us on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All of those are places that you can send questions. CanCrusher69@gmail.com. Send a question there. Interact with us. Do all this. We'll make more for you. Just do it. It really is just that easy, right?
It's that simple. That simple, that easy.
So many outlets. Anything. We don't care.
Post a story.
Well, I do. I apologize. We had like 5 or 6 great Ask Can Crusher questions. My God, too many questions.
They're coming. They're coming.
We had like 5 or 6 great Ask Can Crusher questions, along with a couple other randoms sprinkled in. That was going to be a great show. Resend them in. We'll do another Ask Can Crushers soon, but we have to do the Crushies today. This is legit the last day of the year.
It is.
Yeah,
it has to be done.
Have an end of the year show. So it makes sense. So save those, send them back in. We'll be happy and fine and dandy. Collar and Elbow. Hats, hoodies, tees, all the cool stuff that Collar and Elbow has. Use the promo code Holy fuck, Mark. We haven't done a show in 2 weeks.
We haven't.
Use the promo code Can Crushers. All one word. Capital C and Can, capital C and Crushers. You'll save 10%. Screw it. Here comes Al. We'll be back, and we're going to start with last year's predictions, how bad we did, and then just roll into more and more and more.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. 2 entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
Hey everybody, this is Gilbert, WWF's longest reigning light heavyweight champion. You're listening to Can Crushers Podcast, the best guys there are out there.
Welcome back to Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Mark the Mark alongside Sir Michael Jenks. Are we ready? Because now this is legit the Crushie Awards show.
We have to be ready. I think we've waited a whole year to do this. Let's do it.
Along with an extra 2 weeks. All right. So this is something this son of a bitch of a co-host just told me he knows all my Crushie Awards because I saved it to save in the shared file that we have. So there goes the surprise. So he wins this. But go ahead.
I will say I only looked at some of them, not all of them. So we'll just go that route.
But he didn't do any homework, so he doesn't know his bold predictions for 2022. I didn't read yours. I have some. No.
Oh, for this year. I got you. Yeah. Okay, got it.
How bad you did on those.
Oh, I'm sure it was horrendous.
And how bad I did on those. So let's go to these first. And
now, wait a minute. Wait. Can I say something? Was it as bad as Morrissey winning the WWE title?
Close.
Oh, man. Damn it.
But you were right on some.
Oh, okay.
You weren't that bad. I'm joking.
I think I'm that bad.
Excuse me. Oh, the liquid death. By the way, that is like my new favorite water right now.
I've never tried it. Is it good? I don't know. I've heard of it.
Sparkling with a little bit of like CO2 added to it. It's
okay.
It gets that pop feel. That don't get me wrong. I love pop, but I know it's not good for me.
Yeah.
So it gives you that little bit of kicking the gonads.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say kicking the nuts, so that makes sense. All right.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'll throw both of us under the bus since I have on the
Let's
sheet
do
in
it.
front of me. One for you, one for me. All right. Your first was Braun Breaker will be main event status by Survivor Series.
I'm still surprised by that, but
Yeah,
I guess they needed to hold down NXT, so I get that.
Yeah. Mine was Tessa will be in AEW.
Okay. Yeah.
So we both lost.
Yeah, we saw how that worked out with WoW and her relationship with WoW.
And that was actually my big selling point, that she's back in WoW. And
Oh.
your next one makes perfect sense. And it went well until you added a caveat to it.
Oh, shit. Which one was it?
Jade Cargill will go undefeated for 2022 and have both titles to end the year.
That is right. Well, I thought they were going to be starting that push to push her right into it, but now we're learning they need to get her to 50 wins, it seems like, before they even get to that point. So
Mine, Thunder Rosa will be AEW champion at some point.
you were correct.
And strip. No, I didn't say it. But yes. So far so good. We were huge because I agreed with you. You did it, and I agreed 100% with you on this one. So it's a knock here. Sonya will be a champion by the end of this year. We were both huge on her at the end of last year.
I'm still huge on her. It's just they don't seem to have a plan for her, or they don't want to push her. I don't know what the deal is with them. I still think she can be a champion in that company. Maybe even in NXT, but we'll see what happens.
Mine was Chelsea will be all elite. Chelsea's going back to WWE.
WWE, yep.
So, we both said this one. Again, you said Ciampa and Roderick Strong will be all elite. I piggybacked that. I didn't say anything about, because we both made this prediction, simultaneously. I said Strong will be, because it was just then Fish had come over and Kyle had come over and
Marina was there. Yep.
We're like, they're running with this. Yeah, that didn't happen either.
I think that lost steam when Adam Cole went down with the concussion. And I think once that happened, and this isn't a knock against him getting injured, it's just saying once you lose that pivotal piece of it, what's the push? You know what I mean? Because then everything started falling apart with Bobby Fish, and now he's, I don't know, doing something.
Kyle's hurt. We're not sure if he's coming back.
Yep, exactly. So
we don't know what's up with Adam either.
Yep, dominoes have fallen, and unfortunately, the pieces aren't in place right now. So there's no way Roddy's coming over.
The only one looking good is Marina.
And that's subject to opinion.
Here was your big one. Okay, this was your big one. Bray Wyatt will remain unsigned. He doesn't need pro wrestling.
I thought, hey,
he was,
you know what?
6 movies in 6 months.
He was going to do 6 movies in 6 months. And technically, he didn't sign until about end of August.
2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
It feels like it.
Right. And you know what? I am perfectly fine with being that wrong on it, that he's back, because I love that he's back right now. We had a great 2-month run where it was with all those stupid QR codes and everything like that, trying to guess what was happening.
I'm sure we're going to be talking about Bray more.
I feel like we will be. Yeah.
And my big one. Vince will sell WWE.
You're close.
Right?
You're in ballpark range.
Right? Because we were like, it's going to be Disney. No, it's going to be HBO. It's going to be Jenks department store. It's going to be this. Right. It's going to be that. Like, it was the big talk. We didn't know that sexual allegations would be the one buying Vince out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, He fell.
To get half a point at least?
I'm giving you half a point. I mean, he's out. He's no longer there, despite whatever reports you want to hear over the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
There's no way those are true. I don't think that's happening, but it is what it is.
I would be disgusted. The other report that said, hey, he's coming back, and then another report said, oh, wait, Rita just said it was actually more money that she's been asking for. Like, both of these reports came out the same day. Vince is coming back. No, Rita had now talked about, I don't want to use the word R.
Yeah.
So let's just, sexual allegations, you know, blah, 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 blah. You know where I'm going. Like, it's just more and more that, it's not going to happen.
I will make this statement here, and it might lead to me having to leave this podcast, but I would not watch WWE again if Vince came back, because I think that just shows a lack of character fully within that company, and I could not support that at all.
Listen, I agree with you, and in time, he will be in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
If he goes in this year, I think there's a royal kickback to all of this. I don't think it behooves anybody at WWE saying, hey, these allegations aren't done yet. Let's put Vince in the Hall of Fame this year, because it may be the biggest one before his health goes downhill or whatever. I say if you want him in the Hall of Fame, and I'm not saying this out of spite or anything, you wait 5-10 years or post life, you put him in.
I was thinking the same thing. Didn't they do that with Vince Sr.? I think he went in. Yeah, I don't think they had a choice, because by the time they did the Hall of Fame, I think he had already passed. But I think that's how this should go. I completely agree with you. He should not be anywhere close. You do not have the PR team in place to put Vince McMahon in the Hall of Fame this year, or next year, or even the year after that. I personally think you don't touch him as a Hall of Fame member until he is long and gone and resting somewhere in the ground. That's when you put Vince McMahon in, or touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Agreed. This is not done. This allegation isn't done. You know, I think more and more is going to continue to get out of this. And I know we talked about it in depth almost the couple weeks or a month that it was really heavy. But listen, more and more is going to continue to trickle out. It's going to be an ongoing story. And it's one of the biggest stories of the year. So we have to kind of listen. It's a fucking year-end review show. Vince has been out of wrestling now for 6 months. It's huge news.
Yes.
So that was our bold predictions for 2022. Bold, not beautiful.
We're not a soap opera here.
Not a soap opera. All right. So we'll do predictions for 2023 at the end, like we always do. This way it's easier for Mark to find them next year. I don't know where you want to start. I actually want to start at 1 to kind of knock it out of the way, because you're going to give me hate about it anyway.
Well, let's start with that one. I don't know which one it is, but let's start.
It's the Can Crusher interview of the year. And
okay.
I'm going to be cheesy about this. They're all my kids. Okay. So I wrote down a little, Cherry, Butch, The Masked Saint, Mosh, Ringside Rain, Jenny Santana, Haley Shadows. And I'm going to say this, and it's going to come off mean, to even Wednesday's Jesse Beeler. Jesse Beeler's means so much to me that I had to move him twice, because, listen, I'm going to play this up for probably 2 more weeks, that I could have been dead. So that was like my comeback one. And it was his first, and we had fun, and we talked about it. There's just so many. And I know I miss Jada and some of the other OVW girls. I can't pick one. So if you're going to shit on me and say it's the easy way out, I don't care. give it to me. It's the easy way out. I love them all because they're all a different story.
Yeah, I completely get that. We had a conversation a couple weeks ago because I said the ones that I participated in, I was contemplating not bringing into my list. But at the end of the day, that Masked Saint one I thought was one of the best ones of the year. I included that in my list. I like the Vinnie Barry one. I enjoy the books, and I gotta promote it. But
that was gonna be our next commercial, by the way.
Was it?
I have it saved for
Perfect. My other one, because I picked 3. Vet Adams was a great interview. I think early on this year, that was a really great story told throughout that whole episode. So I included that one as well. But the list you named, there's so many good ones. Cherry was honorable mention actually on my list because I enjoyed that one too. But I get it. You can't play favorites, Mark.
I can't.
You can't play favorites. So I get that.
This is the one. If there's one that I really like the participation from Can Crusher Nation, it's this one.
Yeah.
Like it kind of tells me what they like hearing then from the interviews.
Yeah.
But since nobody fucking called in or voted for a Can Crusher interview of the year, disappointment sits on my face. So, to all the wrestlers, everybody that have been on for the spotlight shows and this and that, and everybody except Vinnie Barry, thank you. I love you, Vinny. He is like Santa Claus. He'll be back to talk about his Block Bart book next year, and we'll have fun again. All right, so go ahead. Since I made you do that one, you can go next.
Yeah, make me do it, but where do I want to go here? I mean,
let's save the big. Legit save the big ones. Like
match of the year later, tag match of the year later, men and women. I'm saving for later. I'm thinking return of the year. I think we might want to go there next.
All right.
So
we have 3.
Do you want to go 3, 2, 1? We go back and forth.
1.
Yeah, 3, 3, 2, 2. Yep.
Yeah.
My number 3 was Saraya. So
piggybacking it, I agree because it was. And we can talk since nobody is left at it. We have time to fill in. This was an emotional one for me because it's been 7 years since she's been back. Didn't know if she's going to be back. Was it? Listen, the other two, I'm sure were on the same boat.
Right.
It wasn't the glitz and the glamour. It wasn't the long told story. It wasn't a family looking to do something down the line. This was just emotional. This was just, I'm coming back, and I don't know if I'm ready to come back, but we're going to see.
Yeah.
So it hit my heart.
It always, those career-ending injuries when they come back, like when Edge came back in 2020, I got emotional because I love seeing that Edge overcame that neck injury and could do it again. So seeing Saraya come out and getting ready in the build-up in what eventually became the match with Britt, I think I was more emotional during the match, but this one was special because we never knew in the trials and tribulations she had, even between, I think it was 2019, or I can't even remember when it all started, but when it all started through the recovery and healing process after she had to leave the ring for the final time, it's like, oh man, we're finally getting what we were trying to get back in 2018, 2019 when she came back for 2 weeks?
Yep.
And it was just taken away from her in the blink of an eye. So it was emotional and I loved it. So got to go straight there.
Yeah, even with the whatever the hell that WWE Fox show was called.
Oh, Backstage, yeah.
Yeah, even that wasn't enough. She was there in WWE, but it just wasn't. It was her thing, but it wasn't what we wanted from her. We knew we wanted a little bit more to see, and we kind of had a heart of hearts that WWE was never going to clear her.
Yeah. And to that point, when you watch Backstage in that, you knew she loved the business, but she could not fully invest in that show because it wasn't what she wanted to do with the business. So You were absolutely right. WWE was not going to touch her or put her in a position to let her do this. And I think it was because she was at such a young age when she had that final injury that they were just like, we can't do this. You have so much life ahead of you. Find something else to do or do something outside of that. But Mark, we've seen it time and time and time again. That itch hits you, you have to scratch it. And that is exactly what happened with Edge. It's exactly what's happening here. They have to scratch that itch. It never goes away. So happy she's back and ready to go.
Yeah. Excuse me. And then meeting her at WrestleCade this year, you can tell that just being able to hug the fans and being around them, like, it was awkward, but she felt relief and was so happy.
Yeah.
To be able to come out and do things like that. So yeah. Great. What's your number 2?
So my number 2 was Cody Rhodes. I mean, at WrestleMania, you have to. There's no other number 2 here because I think. Wow.
Well,
what was your number
2?
2?
The same. Well, our number 2 is the same as well. So our number 1.
So number 1's the same then, but
yeah.
I think it speaks for itself. Cody Rhodes coming back to finish what his family needed and needs to get. It was a beautiful sight at WrestleMania to see him finally return as the star. I think all of us fans, and he knew he was when he left 6 years ago, to see him come back, it was magnificent.
In the beginning of his entrance of there's more than just one wrestling family, like that hits. That hits different from, his Kingdom song in AEW, which essentially is transitioned into, the same song in WWE, but they just put that beginning, and I'm like, oh, we knew it. We knew it was going to be Cody. As well, when we get to number 1, we knew who it was going to be. It was just how they build it up and the glitz and the glamour. They're two within themselves.
Yeah.
Just different. It was how much buildup do we want? How much suspense? Are we really getting the person that's going to be number 1? Or are they going to pull wool over our eyes? But we knew this was going to be Cody. We just didn't know what they were going to do to bring Cody out. And all three, I don't fucking care what I said. I think all 3 of these were done perfectly. They all could be number 1. They all could be number 2. They all could be number 3.
Yeah.
It's the emotional factor essentially in all of them. So I had Cody. Screw it. Ready? We can both say number 1 together.
Yeah.
Bray.
It was Bray 100%. I think the only thing that separated Cody from Bray, or Bray from Cody, was the build-up. Like, for Cody Rhodes, we knew he was going to be the mystery opponent. We knew what was going to happen, but they didn't hint at it.
Right.
Bray, they played the sick mind games that he's known and loved. The damn QR codes everybody was getting frustrated about for 2 months straight.
This guy.
I know you. That's exactly why I said that. I know. You were done with them after, like, week 3. And
because I couldn't figure the fuckers out.
Yeah, right. I personally just waited till the video surfaced on Twitter within the next day, so I was perfectly fine with that. But every video played to something. It built up to something. It was secret code. It was beautifully and masterfully done, and it felt, here it goes, untouched or untampered with and purely created by Bray Wyatt himself. And I think that was what was
had no Vince in it.
Had no Vince in it. It was perfectly done. I wouldn't be surprised because I think it started within 2 weeks of Vince leaving. I think as soon as Vince left, we talked about this several times on the show. People were called. Bray was that first call. What do you think you can put together for us to make this work? And it was masterfully done. And then the Harper tribute during the entrance, everything was beautifully done with it. And I love that they waited to the very end of Extreme Rules to waltz him out so he didn't interrupt anything.
Yeah, because that's not what we predicted during Extreme Rules.
Exactly. We thought he was attacking this person, or he was getting his group to attack these people, and there was going to be a mad wave. That's not what we got. We got Bray, the special moment at the end.
And it fucking hit. All right. Let's do a worst. Let's do a worst storyline.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll do my number 3 first.
Okay.
The Brutes and New Day. Biggie had just gotten hurt.
Yeah.
And I understand, it's not that Ridge meant to hurt him or anything like that, but then they trickled this match into WrestleMania. And listen, New Day is one of the greatest tag teams in WWE history.
Yeah.
And to give them a 2-3 minute match was just horseshit. Like, throw them a bone. Give New Day the win, and they literally got crushed.
Yep.
Throw them a bone. You played Big E kind of getting hurt. They were in singlets representing Big E. Don't have the match. Do something. Like, I just think this was distasteful. So that whole storyline went to shit for me. And I understand it's an injury, but they could have just pivoted and not have the match.
They could have also not had a 3-minute Vince McMahon win over Pat McAfee either. And gave
number 3?
My number 3 does involve Vince. It involves Vince in theory. That whole relationship storyline.
The egg.
Absolutely. The egg that started it at Survivor Series last year because of the Rock connection, all the way through. It was dumb. It was stupid. And when Roman came out and said, your daddy's not here anymore, I popped and had the biggest smile on my face for 3 days. Nobody could have probably answered it, why you have a smile on your face. But I laughed because it was the dumbest storyline ever. And I've never seen... I just didn't understand what the point of it is. It's like they tried to recreate the Drew McIntyre Chosen One storyline from 12 years ago. That didn't even go over well 12 years ago, so I don't know why we're revisiting Theory with it this time, but it was just abysmal, and I had to make it number 3 on my list.
My number 2, people are like, really? If this is your number 2, what the hell is your number 1? We got 3 months of Bob and Omos.
Oh my God, yeah.
Reviews at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Which did nothing for either of them. It brought Bob down a little bit. Almost just ended up actually just with MVP out of the whole storyline, which
Isn't even are they even around still together? I don't even know anymore because I haven't seen MVP in a while.
Yeah.
So
Bob and Omos, number 2. I don't need to get any deeper into that.
No, you
And
don't.
it's not Bob.
No.
We got 3 months of that.
That was rough. I will say I kind of sectioned that off and compartmentalized that. So it did not make my top 3 list somehow.
I don't know how.
Number 2, and people are probably be like, well, then what the fuck's your number 1? Because my number 2 was the 24/7 marriage drama title BS that they had going on for what that had to have been like 6 weeks, whatever that was.
I think I put that.
Yeah, see, you put that one away. Kazawa,
thought about that.
Tamina, Dana Brooke, Reggie was there, who's now Scripps in NXT, but I don't even need to go into detail on that. That was abysmal in its own right.
Ready for some hate?
Let's see what it is. What's your number 1?
Ronda Liv.
I went...
Even with Liv winning it one time, having it for like 3 weeks and losing it right back, you heard me bitch all fucking summer how Liv she shouldn't be an underdog champion. That championship, listen, if she gets it at WrestleMania, if she somehow rolls back around and gets another chance, she gets her comeuppance. This was a horrible championship reign for her. It did nothing for her. Nothing.
Yeah.
And then trickle it back to Ronda, and you're seeing the classics that Ronda's having right now. Boof. I think Ronda is hurting Liv still to this day.
Yes, 100% agree. You're absolutely right. Ronda has brought down people. This was not my worst storyline between these two, but you're absolutely correct. Liv completely hurt by this whole thing. It didn't. The SummerSlam fake, the finish at SummerSlam ruined it. Ronda can't carry things. Liv's not at that position to do it, to help her get through that yet. Love Liv. She's going to get another title run at some point, but she was not experience-wise in a position to carry Ronda in a rivalry. My number one is somebody that was experience-wise to carry Ronda in a rivalry, and it was still absolute terrible. Ronda, Charlotte, that whole feud, no great match. It just was. It was, I think, it came at a point where we wanted, and I think the entire world wanted, Ronda Becky to get it done and get it over with, but they force-fed us Charlotte again.
Yep.
And because of that, now I'm not saying this contributed that Charlotte's injured or Charlotte not coming back. We haven't seen Charlotte since this rivalry.
WrestleMania relapse
or backlash or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That won't be the last time we hear that one. Spoiler. But I will say that whole rivalry is just complete, utter garbage to me. I could not get invested at all.
It's funny that Ronda is in both of the worst storylines. And listen,
yeah,
you want me to shoot right now? Besides Jenks knowing that I was going to die, we haven't spoken in 2 weeks. And I'm being mean. We haven't spoken. We're like,
no, we haven't.
You have your shit, I have my shit. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's funny that
we have both Ronda.
One that, Charlotte carried her.
She did.
But Ronda screwed it up.
Yep.
And they wanted to see if Ronda could carry somebody.
No.
Oh, because Liv's not ready to be carried or to carry yet.
Yeah. Liv just doesn't have the experience under her belt to carry a storyline. She's not there yet with her storytelling abilities. But, Jesus.
Classic that we both pick Ronda. Might not be the last time you hear that name.
Probably won't. Should we do best storyline? Just because we're do worst?
Storylines? Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Best storyline. Number 3, I went Seth and Cody. I thought this told a tremendous story over the summer, I guess spring and summer. Obviously, it's self-explanatory how great that storyline was. Seth Rollins, master of his craft this year. Cody Rhodes, unfortunately cut short with the injury, but I feel like we're going to see this pick back up maybe in the new year. We'll see what happens. Who knows what happens with things. But I love this storyline from beginning to where it inevitably ended, including that Hell in a Cell match, selling the Peck.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll probably get back to that one later. But that storyline itself had me engulfed in it. So that's my number 3.
My number 3, people are like, really? It is the slow burn of the whole year until a month ago of Jamie Hayter.
Okay. All right.
The whole year.
It.
So that's number 3. And then becoming champion. And then, listen, the burn is for her and Britt, I don't know, 6 months down the line. Like, this is, it's not all AEW. So fuck you guys. It's not all AEW. So don't worry about that. But the slow burn of Jamie getting her comeuppance, because I don't know last year if we would have predicted Jamie at all, but we saw it around March.
Yes.
And then we're like, really? Jamie? What? So, yeah.
And then we were speculating May is Britt turning on Jamie in the tournament. They had that wink, that face off, her and Rebel. I like it. I also like it because it makes me feel better about my number 2. It's not Jamie Hayter, though. It is AEW centric, but mine went along the same route of the slow burn that was the Devil in MJF. MJF, that whole play on words that we didn't think was connected ended up being connected. And that finally burned to MJF becoming world champion at the end of this year. Sympathy for the Devil played. We connected. If any of you guys were in that group chat we had with Cody Hetrick that night at All Out, we're like, oh my God, he said this in this promo, and we were going back and forth, and all the pieces were falling to the final reveal at the end of the night that it was MJF as the Devil himself. And then the Devil wins and knocks out Regal after that.
Who got that completely right?
I know, right?
But I still lost the 6-pack that night.
But you got it right, so that was worth it.
Right.
But that whole thing was beautifully done. They worked that to a T. Again, we'll probably hear some more of this about this later on, but this was fantastically done. I thought that was one of the better storylines.
My number 2, and we thought this was just going to be a 2-week, 1 week, and then a beating. Sammy getting Usi with the bloodline.
Yeah.
Like, really, did we think Sammy was going to be the hottest thing? And I don't just mean the Usi moment.
Right.
I just meant, like, at the beginning of this, we're like, what is Sami Zayn doing with the bloodline? This is going to be, he's going to get popped in the face, thrown out. He's made the bloodline, I'm not saying relevant, but fun.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It can't miss. So Sammy getting Usi with the bloodline, number 2.
That's your number 2. It's my number 1. Sammy and the bloodline, I have to say this because I completely agree with you. Sammy the bloodline was starting to get, I don't want to say stagnant or stale, but it was starting to get to that point where you're like, okay, who's going to dethrone these guys and kind of knock them for a loop, especially when the Usos got the title. But now we got this goofiness of Sami Zayn starting to trickle in. He just fought Johnny Knoxville at WrestleMania. Who would have thought that this isn't going to mesh? This isn't going to work. And then all of a sudden it starts building, and he's getting more and more trust. And we're like, okay. And now he's watching Jay, and he's coined the phrase Usi, cracks everybody in the goddamn ring. And now Sami Zayn's a part of the bloodline, and we're all on the edge of our seats, ready to cry at a moment's notice when they finally do the job and pop him in the face and throw him out of the bloodline. We're all waiting for it. We don't want it to happen.
But we're all going to be on Sammy's.
But we're all in Sammy's corner.
Sammy's freaking flag.
Exactly. Sami Zayn has done a brilliant job. The whole bloodline development, that was my number 1 storyline of the year.
Throw all extracurricular activities out the window. Okay, so you kind of know where I'm going with this. For me, it was MJF and Punk. Like, this, and I know there was some injuries in between and this, that, and the other thing, and it still could have been a major summer of Punk. But for the months that we did get it, the dog collar, the promos, and everything like this, listen, I'm not done talking about Punk.
Yeah.
During the Crushie Awards, so I'll just leave it at that. And there's more to talk about Punk because FTR has said maybe he's okay to wave the flag and come back.
And that literally just came out today or yesterday with the new FTR podcast. Yeah. So
I'm just telling you, this could maybe be revisited down the line. And listen, whatever. I said throw all extracurricular activities out the window. This is money to be made, and Tony Khan's not stupid.
Yeah.
No. For what they did in that month, it had the world by the balls, and everybody was talking about it. Old bastard, Punk, young whippersnapper, MJF, MF, and everybody in the world. It was so hot that it was white.
Well, going off of that, I think we were all ready for it at the end of All Out for this match to come up, which I think would have been Full Gear anyways. We were ready for it. We wanted it. We wanted to see it. And you're right, the extracurriculars derailed that a little bit. There's more to come out of it. There's more money to be made here. It's how you get there in the long run. So, yeah, I completely see that. So, All right.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
You good?
Other podcast people are checking in now. Let's go. Let's do overrated, underrated.
Okay.
All right. So let's do underrated first.
Okay.
No, because underrated is actually a good one.
Good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do overrated. Let's do overrated.
Okay.
It's my turn to go first. I think.
Yeah, it's your turn to go. Yep.
Ronda Rousey, number 3.
Okay.
And if Ronda's number 3, you know the next 2 I fucking despise. So Ronda Rousey, number 3.
I can't wait to hear this.
Can't carry storylines. It's all about her legacy in UFC. Yeah. Listen, when she calls it a day, don't call her back.
Yeah. Exactly. Let her be on her farm and let her go off into the sunset. My number 3, Braun Strowman, because I have seen absolutely nothing that says to me that he's the monster of men and he has anything worthwhile to give to the company at this point.
Horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Completely agree.
My number 2, as I trickle into NXT, Nikita Lyons.
Okay. Yeah. You know what?
Fucking thing. She's got an ass that she drops on somebody. So did Earthquake.
Yeah.
I just can't get into it, man.
I totally forgot about her, and that's probably how much I got into that character. I would agree with that. That's actually a good one for the list. I totally forgot about her.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're trying to force feed her.
Yeah, they are. Well, I think it's the same thing with Strowman.
Yeah.
They're trying to force feed them as a force of nature, and they're not. You don't have forces of nature. It's the same thing with Omos. There's no forces of nature. There was one. It was Andre.
Yeah.
Let's count 2 with China, because China was a different being all of itself. Outside of those 2 people, there has not been a force of nature in the company or in wrestling in general that even touched those 2 in any shape or form.
Yeah.
And I'm talking like wonders. Andre's a wonder. China, a wonder. The way she has revolutionized things in a way.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, right. But you know what I mean. There's nobody even near that upper echelon. Glacier. Yeah, Glacier. Ken fucking Shamrock. All right.
You're number 2.
My number 2 could get me hate. And I think it might be things that have come up recently. Riddle. Okay, he's had some funny segments, and when he was with Orton, I think it was fine. But the push that this guy has gotten, and now everything that's come out, he doesn't bring anything to it. I just don't know the appeal of Matt Riddle. And maybe it's just me. I don't know. You clapped for me, so maybe we might be on the same page here. But Riddle, I just don't get it.
He's my number 1.
Is he? Okay. Do you want to know my number 1?
Because I have to agree with everything you just said. So yeah, I want to know your number 1.
My number 1 was your number 3, Ronda. Absolutely.
Really?
Ronda was my number 1. Yeah.
For all the same reasons.
For all the same reasons. There's just nothing. I mean, Ronda's nothing without her UFC career.
Riddle's nothing without Randy. Like, the only time that I had a glimpse of hope of Riddle was maybe with Randy. And it was still a stretch that I'm like, this fucking guy just doesn't. What does he do?
Yeah.
Like,
he's comic relief.
I love Logan Shulo from IWC. I love Elias. I love Zeke. I like all that. That persona does what he needs to do. All right, he's a singer. He comes out. He gets crushed in the face. He's not pushed. He's not lacked. He's nothing like that. They want me to think that Riddle is a force for Roman Reigns. No.
Never.
No.
Never once did I think he was close to Roman Reigns. Never once did I think he was anywhere close to Seth Rollins. And that's not even. I'm not trying to knock Seth Rollins. I put Seth and Roman on the same plane. There's nowhere close. He's nowhere close to that echelon. He's a mid card at best. Maybe upper mid card with Randy.
he's near fucking Randy. I want to.
No, I'm saying with Randy as a tag team upper card. Yeah.
Tag team, it's different.
Yeah.
But listen, everybody's gonna hate me for this. People hate Sheamus for whatever. Riddle doesn't sniff Sheamus's jockstrap, and everybody's like, "Oh, Sheamus is getting old" or whatever. Riddle and Ronda, Nikita Lyons and Braun Strowman.
Yep.
Go away.
It's imagined prestige on all four of them.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. We think they could be big stars. And here's the problem. We know the fans know they can't be, at least between us, we don't think they can be. But it's just that perceived and that imaginary prestige that they put on these people. That is just, come on, guys, be real about it.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So let's do the underrated, and then the next, let's do. How about do the underrated, and then the holy shit moment of the year, which we forgot to put on the list, and then we'll take a break and do the rest of them.
Okay, sounds good. All right.
Head with your underrated number 3.
My number 3 underrated, we just mentioned him. He has kind of had a resurgence this year because of a banger after banger after banger after banger. Sheamus is underrated. And I think it's because he was handcuffed with what he was able to do under the old regime. Ever since Vince left, Sheamus is fucking going off. Crazy. I love Sheamus. I think he's underrated. He's my number 3.
I've always waved Sheamus's flag. I don't think he's underrated. I think he's underutilized. I'll put it that way.
That's fair.
I like, and I think you're going to agree, Chad Gable. Again, he's not that he's underrated. He's underutilized, but I needed to mention him on the show. So I had to make sure I got his name in this list. Listen, Alpha Academy's not going anywhere. It's not. It's just not a thing. Let this poor bastard just wrestle. Why can't we have a wrestler in sports entertainment on that brand? Yeah,
that's a fantastic point. I will wave Chad Gable's flag, and I will because he's number 2 on my list. Chad Gable, I don't know what to tell you. But, hey, Chad Gable, I've talked him up. We know my history in hating the Jason Jordan as Kurt Angle's son thing. I love Chad Gable. I completely agree with you. Just let him wrestle. Let him go out there and be an Olympic-type hero, if you want to call it that. But Chad Gable should be better utilized and is underrated in his in-ring ability, for sure.
My number 2 is because of spite. And there's some things that happened over the week. I don't know if you've watched some wrestling or not, and we're not going to cover it or get into it. My number 2 is still because I don't think he's being utilized yet again, and now he's being knocked out and haircut and everything. I still think Wardlow's not getting where he should be. Yeah. Nothing against Joe. Maybe this is the feud that catapults him away from this mid-title and something happens. But I think Wardlow, even with everybody that's been in and around AEW Heavyweight Championship, I think he could at least sniffed an eliminator match this year. And he didn't. So, come on. Especially against MJF. Yeah.
No, that's fair. I think I completely agree with you. He was very underutilized. That TNT title reign was horseshit. It was terrible. I think he's due for a resurgence next year. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know why they're going the Samson haircut methodology here with this, but hey, whatever. I can see that. He was not on my list, but I do appreciate that Wardlow one. Okay, my number 1. I don't know. To me, she's underrated. She also just got let go. This whole Mandy Rose thing. Mandy Rose has carried the NXT brand for a year. Over a year. She has improved. A great storyline, great faction with Toxic Attraction. I don't think they understand the key player that they lost in this whole fallout of the OnlyFans or whatever the hell site she's on. I don't think they understand the key player they just lost in Mandy Rose and what she has done to build that up. I think she's very underrated in her abilities. And maybe it's because we just haven't seen them on the main roster over time.
I'm glad you brought Mandy up because she's probably my 4.
Okay.
Because and this is, I just read this today. They were bringing Gigi and JC up. But
I saw this.
Bring Mandy back up.
Yeah.
They were just going to let her simmer. And the way they did her dirty, we both said 2 weeks ago or whatever that, maybe it's going to be Roxy that wins that eliminator. And then the next night, boom, takes the title. We didn't expect them to take the title right off the bat from Mandy. But this whole OnlyFans or Fan Time or whatever the hell site it was. Listen, this is like a double-edged sword, and I'm glad you brought it up. So we need to talk about it a little bit. This is a double-edged sword that WWE is having. They want some of the women to be like Mandy Rose, but then Mandy Rose does her own thing, and I think there's a little bit maybe having sex legitimately on, even if it's behind a paywall, probably isn't the right thing to do.
Right.
But it's probably not, oh, you're fucking done with the company, hit the road. That's not the right thing when you have a star that's making $500,000 in a weekend.
Yeah.
It's cut.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that talks to it. And I don't know the decisions that went behind there. I don't know what the methodology or the thought process was behind it. I guess if they're going for the PG angle, to your point about sex behind a paywall, I guess I get that. But it speaks volumes when that star, and maybe there's just a lot of horny wrestling fans out there that didn't even know she had it, and they just wanted to get it.
Fuck, I need to see this now.
I need to see this now. Curiosity killed the cat, haha, and then they go get it. But she was a star. She was your cornerstone for NXT for over a year.
Yeah.
You can have your opinions about people who have these sites or what they do with these sites. Listen,
I'd love to support all these sites. It just, the money adds up.
The money does add up.
So if I can't support one, I can't support any. I'm kidding. I'm married.
Right. I would say my thought process is what people want to do in their free time to make money, that's their own business. I don't care. You're not impacting my life whatever. But I don't know what kind of nightmare they thought they were going to get if this got out. She's been doing this for 6-7 months. People knew about it.
Yeah.
It's not anything shocking, but I think it's just going to come bite them. I loved Roxy becoming the champion and whatnot, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe they're in a better position than I think they are. But
so where do you think Mandy pops up? I mean, because she got fired. I don't. Yeah. Is there a 90-day since she got fired? Essentially,
I can't imagine she's got a 90-day. But to that point, Mark, if you make $500,000 in 2 days,
right?
Are you going to pop up anywhere? No, you don't need to. You probably made your year worth salary, maybe even more, in just 2 days.
She is a superstar. Like, she could transition into, and I'm not saying adult movies. I'm saying like normal movies. Like, she's a looker. She could be something in Hollywood.
Exactly. Start with smaller roles, build yourself up. I'm not saying she's going to be on the level of Rock, but it's a way to start into the business. She can get there. Oh, she could even do modeling. Obviously, she's doing that by herself right now.
Right. But overall, though, I think she's more of a fit for Impact than AEW. I will say that.
I agree with that because I think that would be the name that Impact would need. I think it's a bigger fish for Impact that they could utilize and make a lot of money off of. I think she'd get lost in the shuffle in AEW because of the amount of women that are there, the talented women that are there. Impact could definitely use her star power, I think.
Yeah. My number one actually comes from Impact.
Oh, yeah?
Speedball Mike Bailey.
Oh, okay. That's a good one.
Unbelievable. And you know what? It took me to WrestleCade. It really did. The match with him and Dax at WrestleCade, And then I've been eating everything Speedball Mike Bailey has sent. Yeah, underrated. Littler guy. I know everybody on Impact are like, whoa, you should watch fucking Impact a lot more. I agree. But seeing that 98% of America doesn't get Impact,
Right.
more people need to see Mike Bailey. So have it be go to WrestleCade or, search up some other stuff. He's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. So that's my underrated.
I like it.
Okay. All right. Let's do we didn't put this one up because me and Jenks were like, oh my God, we're idiots. And by the way, Daniel Spencer said we should have did referee of the year. And I've already told him he wasn't winning it anyway.
I was going to give it to referee Jess, who just stunned Sami Zayn at a house show yesterday. She perfectly executed stunner on that one. So
yeah, Jessica Carr. Referee.
Jessica Carr, that's right. I couldn't think of her last name. Yeah.
And then Aubrey Edwards, then Bryce Remsburg, and then CJ Sensation from IWC, and then the cricket, and then Daniel Spencer. You're probably 100.
I would also like to say we made sure that Jim Cornette was rolling over in the grave that he doesn't have yet. So, because he hates Remsburg, he hates Audrey, he hates them all. Yeah. Aubrey, he hates them all.
Mike Knox. Yeah.
Mike Knox.
Is it Mike Knox? Yeah.
No, that was the wrestler Mike Knox.
What is Knox's name then? There's a Knox to referee.
Yeah, it's damn it. It's the ball. He's Mike. It's the bald referee from
Knox. His last name is
Knox.
Knox.
His name's Knox. I cannot think of his first name. Yeah.
All right, but still, any referee besides Daniel Spencer is Jim Cornette. All right, let's do our holy shit moment of the year. Then we'll take a break, and then come back with like the bigger ones: pay-per-view of the year, worst pay-per-view of the year, match of the year, tag team of the year, and all that. All right, is it me?
Yeah, it's you.
Yeah, it's me. Okay, we'll see because this was added late last night, and we'll see where we both go with this.
Okay.
Because this is interpretation. Holy shit moment of the year. Number 3 for me, the whole media scrum.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
I was like, oh shit. A lot came out of that. What the fuck? The next week, me and Mr. Galbo were in Buffalo. We didn't know what the hell. That was... It's still talked about, but it was very 2 to 3 week focused about whole shit. So a lot happened. So
what's the fallout? What's happening? I get that completely. My number 3, and this is I will spoil it in a sense. This is the only wrestling action on my list for this one. My number 3 is I'm still trying to process how Darby Allin was not paralyzed jumping off of a ladder onto Jeff Hardy on a set of chairs way back when, before the whole Jeff Hardy getting fired or suspended or whatever he did. I don't know how Darby Allin's alive. He just has a death wish, and that to me still hurts me to this living effing day. So that's my number 3. I don't think I need to describe that anymore.
No, I wanted to go a lot of wrestling moments this year. Listen, I wanted to put Brock fucking driving the tractor and I wanted to put Darby because I saw some of these. I did relive some of them.
Yeah.
Other accounts and sources and everything. I'm like, oh yeah, that can't be one. Because there was a lot of oh my God moments match wise this year via AEW. Couple WWE. But the noteworthy things, oh my God. So my number 2, Cody leaves AEW.
That's a good one.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
He was, and no disrespect to Kenny or the Bucks or Brandy or anybody, but to me, he was the first AEW star that I saw. Holy shit.
Yeah.
He left NWA for AEW.
Yeah.
I know the Bucks and but he was when I thought AEW right off the bat, it was Cody. Never pictured him to leave. The motherfucker beat up a throne on the first pay-per-view.
Yep.
Money.
It's money. But it's also that pride thing. And he needed to right the wrong of the polka dotted American dream in WWE, I think. And he had to go right that wrong. I like that one. I had it at 4. My number 2 was your number 3. It was the media scrum. That blew up the entire AEW as we knew it at that point in time, because I think for most of us, we hadn't heard any leaks of bad things going on in AEW. Here and there's a couple things going on, but nobody really was like, oh my God, there's major issues or anything like that. The company's fine. All of a sudden blows up. There's a media scrum between your current world champion who had just won it and your 3 EVPs that were remaining in the company. Who
are your trios champions?
Who are your trios champions that just won that night? That's a good point. And on top of all of that, we had heard earlier in the year when Cody left, there was friction between them and Cody anyways. So now it's everything blew up. Yeah.
The dog could have got hurt. We still don't know if the dog was really hurt or not.
Yeah, we don't know if the dog was really hurt. And then whoever Ace Steel or whatever his name was get involved, and I think
Takazawa.
Takazawa, everybody, Cutler with Cold Spray was trying to get involved. It was a whole mess of people. That has to be a holy shit moment. You don't see that doesn't happen. But yeah, so that's my number 2.
So I'm guessing our number 1's the same.
I think it has to be, right?
Vince McMahon retires.
Yes, exactly. And I put quotations retires. Yeah. But yes, it is. I mean, who in a million years, even when you said your bold prediction was him selling it, we were thrown at the wind because we thought, hey, speculation, he might sell this because we're hearing things. And maybe it's a little biased because that was our first Friday night show, and it literally happened 2 hours before we started recording.
Yeah.
And then we were tracking Twitter.
We shit ourselves the whole show.
We did. We didn't know what to do. We were like, we got to cover this. Like, there's nothing else to do.
Because we said there's nothing going on today. At noon that day, I'm like, dude, I don't know what we're going to talk about.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden, 4 o'clock, everything.
How about this?
So,
what? Live on SmackDown. I'm leaving. Yeah.
Unfucking believable.
Changed wrestling that we know today. It changed the last 6 months. Listen, when we talk about worst pay-per-view, I'm sure they're very WWE early in the year heavy.
Yeah, I
There's
could
nothing
probably
after August on my list.
I completely agree. I wholeheartedly agree with that. And there's nothing after August on mine.
Yeah.
So.
Hello, Vince. Time for you to go. Sexual allegations or not.
It's been a long time coming. So
it changed the wrestling world.
Any
company, it changed.
Yeah.
So. All right, let's take a break there. Vinny Barry sent me a commercial. I'm sure you guys have heard it over the last couple weeks, but Vinny Barry wants me to play again during the Crushies. He's still pandering for sales for this book, Pro Wrestling Vault Volume 2. No, it's a great book. Listen, it really is. WrestleVille.com. Go check it out. Here comes Vinny to tell you more about the book. And then when we come back, we have a couple more big awards. And then we have our also great predictions for next year.
Read about the Northern Wrestling Federation in the book presented by WrestleVille.com, The Pro Wrestling Vault, Volume 2. Hear the story of Roger Ruffin, the man who trained Carl Anderson, the Monster Abyss, Jordan Clearwater, Chris Harris, and Jillian Hall.
Plus 45 other short stories including Jazz, Bobby Eaton, Kamala, Thunder Rosa, Mario Mancini, Scott Casey, PJ Black, Kerry Morton, Sal Renaro, Jeremiah Plunkett, Colby Carino, Bam Bam Malone, and many others.
Get your book today at WrestleVille.com. Russellville. It's where wrestling lives.
Hey, this is Space Jesus Billy Starks, and you're listening to the Out of the World podcast of Can Crushers.
Ooh, welcome back, Can Crushers Nation. It's time. It's time. It's Vader time. And part 2 of the Can Crushers. We had to throw a little Vader.
It's actually part 3, Jenks.
It's part 3, but part 2 of the Crushies. We did not get through the second half of our list here. I don't know. That's what I was going with. Anyways, I had to throw great honors to the Hall of Famer Vader this year, who finally got in after being long overlooked in the Hall of Fame fight. So, anyways, Mark, let's go worst pay-per-view of the year. We led with we hinted at it, so let's just go there.
Who starts? I don't care.
I think it starts with me. My worst pay-per-view, and this might be a little bit of a surprise one
number
too.
three.
My number three. This might be a little bit of surprise to people, but it was Vince McMahon era. It was the final Vince McMahon era pay-per-view. It was Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank felt very lackluster to me, probably because of the Theory win, the fact that Liv couldn't hold the briefcase more than 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah, and the card itself seemed very underwhelming. I think that was the one where it was Ronda and Natalya for the title. It just did not live up to anything. So Money in the Bank is number 3 on my list.
Agreed. That's my 4. Okay, that's my 4. My number 3 was Elimination Chamber. That they took over the Saudi. Roman against Goldberg, and it was just again, they wanted Ultimate Warrior to wrestle over there. They wanted all the legends. And I'm not knocking this because the Prince still doesn't know that some people are dead.
Yeah.
And it's just, if anything, and I know it's probably still a deal, I wish that contract was broken from Trips. Listen, we don't need to go over there anymore. I know you're getting a bajillion dollars when you go there. Anybody stateside could give a fuck about the pay-per-view. They're on it 1:30 on a Saturday.
Yep.
Nobody's watching that over here.
No.
Live. We don't.
Yeah. We don't. We have lives.
Yeah, I have college football.
Yes. Me too. My number 2 was Elimination Chamber. Same reasons. You look at that card, top to bottom. Bleh. It's blood money. It's terrible. I mean, at least with Crown Jewel, it was a serviceable card for the most part.
But
again, it wasn't that bad. I mean, it could have been better. But I'm not watching Saturday afternoon. I'm not watching live. I'm watching Tuesday when I got nothing better to do. That's when I'm going to watch it. So I agree. Elimination Chamber 2.
My number 2 was Day 1.
Yeah, that's a good one. I forgot about that.
It was not a good one. That's why it's number 2 for the worst pay-per-view.
Well, it's a good one for the worst pay-per-view. I forgot about it.
It ruined everything Big E had.
Yeah.
He had a push. It kind of just dismantled New Day. It was thrown together. It wasn't even a glorified Raw or SmackDown. We didn't know much about it until that night.
Yeah.
There wasn't much hype. It's just, there's a pay-per-view on January 1st. What? Whoa.
Yeah, it was bad.
The quickness of the matches. No, it's bad.
That was a good call.
Our number 1s are the fucking same. Go ahead.
They probably are. Yeah, I see here. I totally forgot about Day 1. To be honest, I think it was just that abysmal. But my number 1 is WrestleMania Backlash. Okay, it's not the same. That was my number 1. Listen, there was nothing good to come off of this pay-per-view.
It was Cash Sunday night.
It was, yeah, exactly. And Ronda Charlotte again, that drug it down. I think this was one of the Omos Lashley fights was on here. Actually, I think this was one Omos won, if I'm correct. It just was abysmal from beginning to end. There's nothing good about WrestleMania Backlash whatsoever. And the name sucked. But go on.
Yeah. My number 1, and this was a tough pill for me to swallow, the Royal Rumble. Both Royal Rumbles were horrid last year.
Yeah.
Listen, it's my favorite gimmick match besides a scaffold match, which I don't think we'll ever see those again.
Yeah.
But I love the Royal Rumble. I know I hated them. They were just stale. And then Boom, 30. Well, everybody wins. That's it. Wrap it up. Go. It was just, bad. It just
I was going to say it was my number 4. The lone redeeming factor for the Royal Rumble this year, Seth and Roman. The Shield attire.
Yeah,
that whole mind game thing.
One match save a pay-per-view?
It saved it for my top 3. It's at 4, but it saved it for my top 3. But you're right. I was absolutely disappointed and also thankful I did not introduce Kimberly to wrestling with that pay-per-view.
I am too.
So we saved that for night 1 of WrestleMania, Becky, Bianca, and all that stuff, and what happened there. So I was happy about that. But yeah, Rumble 4, definitely.
All right, so we got to go to pay-per-view of the year then.
Yeah, we do.
It's very one organization driven.
I was going to say, I think you can figure out where we're probably going to go on this, but go ahead.
My number 3, Forbidden Door.
Oh, okay. Yep.
I loved it. I loved the cross promotion. It was probably something that WCW was trying to do way back in the day with New Japan.
With that Starcade. Yeah.
It was fun. It was, we, even knowing wrestling in New Japan, we didn't know everybody, but they were like, holy shit. It was just it hit different. As much as Royal Rumble didn't hit, this was just a different hit. And it was really more of a spectacle than a pay-per-view for me. Yeah. So that's why it trickles at number 3.
I like that. It did not crack my top 3. Ooh. And I'm going to give a special shout out. Castle Grayskull was pretty good this year. Surprisingly good. We gave a lot of shit with the name. I know we did.
For months
and months. And still now we are giving it shit. But it was good. It was a very solid very solid pay-per-view. My number 3.
But still not 3 worthy. Okay.
Not 3 worthy. My number 3 was actually All Out. AEW All Out. Changing of the guards, we had Swerve in Your Glory and the Acclaimed 1, which was a fantastic tag team match. Probably going to hear that again later. You know, we talk about Punk. Mox was still a solid, great match. I know for some reason I'm blanking on all the matches, but it was a great pay-per-view that AEW did. Obviously not as many surprises as they did in 2021 with Danielson and Cole and all that, but it was still very solid, a very good pay-per-view nonetheless. So I put that at number 3.
Did you take any of the media scrum into thoughts, or did you kind of pause on it and let the pay-per-view live for itself and the scrum live for itself?
I'm letting the pay-per-view live for itself and the scrum live for itself. I think those are 2 mutually exclusive events. The pay-per-view itself was what it should have been. Oh, the whole MJF Joker thing too. That was the big driving force behind that and the play into that. But the pay-per-view itself was done brilliantly. There was obviously those 3 things stood out the most to me. The scrum is the scrum. It was testosterone, pride driven anger in the locker room that really drove that, and cupcakes. That's what drove that. But now muffins or cupcakes, whatever the fuck Punk had. But yeah, they're 2 mutually exclusive things. I don't think it's fair to bring down All Out because of that media scrum afterwards.
And that's why it's number 2 on my list. So
fair
exactly,
enough.
Boom, good.
Yep.
I'm done with number 2. Go ahead.
All right, number 2 on mine was actually Revolution. I liked AEW Revolution a lot. We had Eddie Jericho in that one. I actually brought up cards for this one. So that was the House of Black, Pac, Penta. This was Eric Redbeard on this one, but I love that match. Punk and MJF, obviously, the dog collar match, the big one of them all. That was phenomenal. So there was so many good things going on in Revolution. That was my number 2. I really enjoyed it. It was a fun pay-per-view to watch.
For that reason, that's why it was my number 1. So what was your number 1?
Well, my number 1 is recency bias because everything paid off at Full Gear. So I went AEW Full Gear. Pretty self-explanatory with why that's number 1. it was just a phenomenally done pay-per-view. I thought it was really good. MJF payoff. You had, well, even though we had some weirdness go along with the Eliminator tournament, the World Championship Eliminator tournament, or whatever it was still an awesome pay-per-view. I put it on my list. And Hayter winning the title. I think that deserves some sort of recognition there.
I agree. I had to give being the mark that I am, I had to give some props to Forbidden Door. And I'm like, man, how do I get Full Gear, Revolution, and All Out all on the list? So I had a feeling you were going Full Gear.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. So at least all 4 of them essentially made our list.
Yeah.
We got to talk about them.
The one we didn't bring up, Double or Nothing, but I think there's a fair point to that. It didn't stand out like the rest of them did. I think there's a lot of things with the MJF Wardlow match that seemed completely off. The rumors that built into that, and then everything. Adam Cole's injury. Yeah. Everything played into that. So there's a lot of things, and the Owen Hart tournament payoff just didn't do it, I think, for us. So I think that's the biggest key here. But
the belts were awesome, and then we never saw them again.
Exactly.
And it, yeah.
All
right. Let's do promo of the year.
I like it.
We're getting to match and tag and all that, like the main thing. Let's do promo of the year.
Okay. It's you first.
It's me first. All right.
Wait, it was you first last time, so it's me first this time.
All right.
Okay. Honorable mention, Ricky Starks MJF's most recent promo. I still say paint thinner and ass. You smell like paint thinner and ass on a daily basis, so that's stuck in my head.
Give it to you.
Number 3 for me, it's got to be the Uzi promo with Roman, the Bloodline, and Sami Zayn. Sami cracked me up with that. The Uzi promo, it's living on. Was brilliantly done. People say it now. It's now T-shirts. Everything spun off of that, and it took the Bloodline and Sami storyline to another level. That's why I'm putting it at number 3.
My number 3 is the Saraya being cleared Brit that we didn't know. We kind of poked fun at it, and we kind of were like, holy shit, Saraya, are you good, you bad? Is Brit is good, bad? It kept us not knowing, but we talked about it for a lot.
Yeah.
The whole I'm cleared one where they just both rip each other apart. Again, it's probably emotional for me, and that wins points all the time. My homegirl Britt, I've always been a Saraya Page fan. So yeah, that was number 3 for me.
That's fair. My number 2, and I did this list earlier today. I put a different Cody Rhodes promo, but I keep going back to his first night on Raw back in WWE. That was so emotionally packed. I have to make that my number 2. My original number 2, I'll say this to you guys, and thinking about it, was on Dynamite. He shot about the TNT title, about creating the Forbidden Door, leaving WWE, beating the developmental brand over and over again, and Kyle O'Reilly and them. He shot on them, shot on Brody King coming in and being ballsy, calling himself Brody. That was a fantastic promo. But the more and more I thought about it over today, it's really, for me, Cody Rhodes is at number 2, but it's for that WWE, the emotional, family, heartfelt speech that he gave. I have to give that more props here, because I think that was a beautifully told story on that first night back in WWE.
I didn't say my honorable mention. My honorable mention was when I was in Buffalo, Mox taking the lead. Hey, I'm fucking giving up my vacation to run this organization. Not saying that, but essentially saying that.
Yeah.
But that's my honorable mention. My number 2 is getting Uzi with it. It is completely. You said it. It's shirts. It's this. It's that. It's people are getting Uzi tattoo now. So it's changed wrestling. It really is probably going to be a word on a bridge dictionary. So yeah. It's pop culture. Essentially.
It is pop culture now. Yep. It's going to be as relevant as SmackDown is now in pop culture and in dictionaries. My number 1, I think we might have the same one here. It's MJF shoots, baby.
Pipe bomb?
The pipe bomb, the big pipe bomb, beginning of June when he took
Fuck
the three.
yourself, Tony
Go
Khan.
fuck yourself, you fucking Mark firing me. That whole promo, beginning to end, brilliant. Done. I think we called it at that point. This was the promo of the year, and nothing was going to touch it. And to be honest, nothing really did. Things popped. Things made you pop, but nothing really touched that promo.
Yeah, I agree. I really want to save male, female tag of the year.
Okay.
So, do you want to start doing matches?
Let's do matches. Which one do you want to do?
Let's do tag team.
Okay.
Tag team, women, and then males match of the year. And then do the same way up the list for the winners.
Got it.
So it's me first.
Yep.
Okay. Tag team of the year, 3. Okay. Again, this would have been great if you fuckers would have called in, just in case you got over the last hour and a half. For me, number 3 is the Elite Death Triangle, number 1. It's 7.
Okay.
Because, dude, there's just so many tag matches. Yeah. What? You're like, oh my God, what?
It's that same one. I went Elite Death Triangle 6, the one that literally just occurred.
Happened?
That just happened.
What the hell do you call it? The Falls Count Anywhere one.
Falls Count Anywhere one. Okay. Do what yours. That was my.
No, it was just to lead off with. I mean, listen. Do we really need to break these down? I'm not being.
No, we don't need to. But yeah,
number 3 could be the whole 7 fucking match
series. Well, you know what? I can already guarantee. Maybe this is a bold prediction I should write down. I can guarantee you, match 7
is going to be on
the list next year.
Yeah,
because it's going to be absolutely.
Wholeheartedly agree with this.
Asinine insanity. So yeah. Okay.
So nonetheless, we both have Death Triangle.
We have Death Triangle and the Elite. Just different matches. Yeah.
My number 2, the Acclaimed and Swerve in Your Glory first match.
So did I.
For real?
Yeah, for real.
I know you're number 1 then.
Probably. What's your number 1?
Briscoe's FTR dog collar.
Exactly. There's nothing. I don't think there's anything to describe there.
And the thing is, I didn't. I will tell you this right now, because I went a lot of singles for matches of the year. But if we really got technical about this, and I don't know if you did, I will ruin mine right now. This could be above some of these other ones. They're on my list for match of the year. But I just wanted to make sure that I got to talk about other matches as well. That's why we made tag, because this had happiness, tears, death, dismemberment. It had every story you could possibly have. By far amazing.
Agreed. 100% agreed. And I'm glad we did break this out, because to be honestly, the dog collar match, I'll go out and say it was my favorite match of the year. It was bar none. There was nothing close to what FTR and the Briscoes did that night. I still get goosebumps from half the shit they were pulling off, throwing.
Right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
It was
beautiful. At night, dumbass. It was at 4 o'clock.
It was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's right. Listen, man, I had the Christmas tree on. I was watching it in just the basking in the Christmas tree light. But it was so good. It was such a good match. So, yeah.
If we went hardcore, like maybe other podcasts do or something, without a doubt, that was probably my overall match of the year.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
And I'd probably go on the limb and say Acclaim, Swerve in Our Glory 1 would have cracked top 3, I think, for me.
Yeah. I think the other 2 didn't do justice to either one of those teams. They were good, and there was poppable moments in it, but they should have, and we said it on the podcast right after the pay-per-view, they should have called a swerve during the match and let that pop happen that night.
Yeah, because we talked about this. When the second match occurred and the title change happened, we were both like, you missed the opportunity. It should have been 2 weeks earlier.
Yeah.
They should have pulled the trigger.
All right. Let's go women's match of the year.
Women's match of the year. I think it's me first.
Okay.
So my number 3, I'm going back and giving Thunder Rosa her due. The cage win, winning the women's title. I'm going Britt Thunder inside the cage on St. Patty's Day is my number 3 women's match of the year.
I loved it. And I completely love all of that. That would be 4. Because once again, this whole emotional thing. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Son of a bitches. Britt and Saraya got me emotionally involved again. It's a childhood thing. I don't know what it is. So Britt and Saraya's first match back, got me.
Fair enough.
So that's my number 3.
My number 2, I didn't look at your list for this. I don't think a lot of people have it on their radar, and it just recently happened. Jamie Hayter's first title defense against Shida was, bar none, a fantastic match between the two and really showcased well. Hayter showed Shida as still a threat to the women's championship and still a threat overall to the division. I thought this was a fantastic match in the way they did this. That's why I loved it. And I would still talk about this probably a year from now and probably try to rewatch this again. I liked Hayter versus Shida a lot.
Mine, everybody's gonna like, holy shit, you guys don't talk about this enough. But then you bring up match of the year. You didn't really talk about it even during when it happened. What the hell, Mark? Why are you that much of a dick? Again, because Impact is not seen by 98% of the fucking United States. So when you go back and you're looking for match of the year and you're really deep diving and you're doing stuff like this, the women's first ever Queen of the Mountain match, Chelsea and Taya, Jordan Grace and Tasha Steelz, they're on the X Division. That was some ballsy ass shit that went on in that match. And again, I didn't watch it live. I've only watched it probably within the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
If you have the chance, and you do because it's on YouTube, watch it. It is awesome.
I'll have to do that now because I got time tomorrow once we get that furniture in. So
yeah,
maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll click that on. All right. Fair enough. My number 1.
Do we are on the same page?
I don't know. We'll see. My number 1, be still you guys' hearts. It's a WWE match. And it's Becky Bianca from WrestleMania. Are you on the same page? I'm
exactly on the same page. And I'll give you your comeuppance here in a minute.
Go for it.
I'm shocked. As much as we love Thunder, we love Britt, we love Jamie, we love, I'm going to be a dick and say this. I didn't want this to be my number 1. I tried in finding something else. Because I don't know why I didn't want to, but you have to.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. It's maybe because we've seen it before. I don't know. And I'm that much of an asshole. But it was everything it needed to be.
It was everything it needed to be. It closed the circle from the 26-second SummerSlam what the fuck moment we were questioning for 6 months, at 6 to 8 months, however long it is from SummerSlam to WrestleMania. It was everything it needed to be. The buildup was perfect, and it finally showed that WWE could do long-term storytelling if it actually tried. And it finally showed that through. It was brilliantly done. And the two women, they have carried the company through and through many times over.
Again?
I think we will be. These women, they carried the company through and through, and they have been cornerstones. I don't think you have the WWE division where it is in 2022 without Bianca and Becky at the forefront.
Yeah, even with Becky taking, what was she on? 3 months.
3 months. Bianca carried the load, and Bianca has proven over the course of this year she can carry an entire women's division on her back.
Yeah.
Literally, probably, and figuratively. But yeah.
All right, men's match of the year. Me go first, right? Yeah.
No, you go first. I went first on the women's.
Me go.
Yeah. Yeah,
Me.
you go first.
Me go.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Me go.
Jesus.
Number 3 was that Revolution. Punk and MJF.
Okay. I took Punk and MJF, but I took the match in Chicago and Dynamite. Just
The
4
dog
weeks more.
was all in for me.
I love the dog calling one, but I think there's a lot of callbacks. The fact that MJF beat Punk in Chicago twice, because remember there was that stoppage and then they picked it back up and then he still beat him again, even with the brass ring or whatever it was. I love that Chicago one. The dog collar match was great, but that Chicago one got me, I think, more than that dog collar one did.
Yeah, we both had Punk and MJF.
We have Punk and MJF at number 3. I'm wondering if we would have had Punk and MJF at Full Gear, if it happened, top higher on this list, but that's shoulda, woulda, coulda talk, and we don't do that.
Right.
Well, we do that, but hey, whatever.
Predictions?
Yeah, what? No, fuck that. All right. Anyways.
Number 2, Cody Seth, Hell in a Cell.
Okay. 2 for me, Gunther and Sheamus at Castle Grayskull.
Ooh, so this is big then. This is big because I remember you were waving the flag of my number 1, and I didn't change it all year.
Yeah.
So I want to see what you dropped off to get Gunther and Sheamus at Castle Grayskull up.
Okay. All right.
You either dropped off Cody and Seth, or you dropped off my number 1.
Well, what's your number 1?
Danielson Hangman 2.
I dropped off Danielson and Hangman 2 because Cody and Seth is my number 1.
You fucking kidding me?
My
Wow.
top 4.
It went from, when did this happen? January?
January.
To not even being on your list.
It went to number 4. Gunther and Sheamus.
It was a banger. I agree.
It was a banger. It took, I don't know why, but that match was just fucking great.
I agree.
Cody and Seth was the combination of that whole storyline, the peck, the focus on the peck throughout the entire match. It was brilliantly done. The polka dots. I couldn't shade it. Danielson and Page, man. I had love for it. I rewatched it again. I found a clip, found the story online. It just didn't happen. It was a close 4th.
Wow. I really thought if we were going to hit the nail on the head on both of them, it was going to be that match.
I love that match. I did. But I just love the other 3 more, I guess. I don't know.
All right. No hate.
No
All
hate.
right. Tag team of the year.
All right. Yeah, my turn. Tag team of the year, number 3 for me. Acclaimed.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
I know you're number 1. Everybody
knows my number 1. Acclaimed for me is number 3.
Mine's the Usos.
Okay, that's my number 2.
Okay.
Okay, so who's your number 2?
It was FTR.
That's my number 1.
My number 1 is your number 3.
Acclaimed.
Because of their build. I'm all for the build of the year. They are. Listen, you predicted this. FTR just dropped the AAA titles now, too.
Yep. It's fallen off quickly.
I'll ask this. This doesn't need to be a prediction. FTR is leaving AEW. They're not getting the AEW championships. They're going back with Trips.
Yeah. Yep.
This is. I mean, the New Japan titles are probably within a month. When's their contract? January?
Something. I think it's technically maybe. It said I think it was like February or something like that. But I think they defend the New Japan in the next week at either Wrestle Kingdom or somewhere around there. So the IWC
time.
FTR.
Usos.
Yeah.
Tag team match of the year next year.
Call it. I mean, well, we had the same 3 teams, just in different orders. So
We did.
Yeah.
It's just, I love the build. I mean, who knows? Hopefully House of Black's on this next year.
Yep. Hey, quick shout out to Acclaimed with their most recent rap and the Karen Jarrett dig. Gotta give props out there. That whole thing was their best one to date, by the way.
Are we getting, because literally, a day before, Kurt Angle was asked if he'd ever be All Elite, and he's like, no, probably not.
Yeah.
Well, did we just get marked out and set up for Kurt Angle coming to defend? Well, not defend Karen, because that's his ex-wife, but
right. But just show up and let's have Kurt Angle go. I mean, the man is healed now. Just had those knee replacement surgeries or whatever it was this year. He's ready to go.
And Double J is living by himself.
Yeah.
And Karen is a Karen, which, by the way, listen, she is a fucking sweetheart. This picture, again, on my wall will explain it, that she's a sweetheart. She plays wrestling great. And I don't mean plays. She's a character, a person in wrestling.
Right.
She knows how to work it.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Female of the year.
Okay. You're up.
Number 3, Jordan Grace.
Oh, okay.
Carried from digital media to, the Knockouts Championship. She has done so much in Impact that, again, 98% of America doesn't get to watch it. So when you watch it on YouTube, you don't know what you're missing. Honestly, I'd love to see her in AEW, but listen, Gresham's not coming back to AEW.
Yeah.
I would love to see Jordan get more of a spotlight. She's amazing. She really is.
Yeah. I can't disagree with that. But again, I'm in that 98% of America that doesn't watch Impact. So I think that needs to be a New Year's resolution for myself. Watch more Impact, find more
at least
stuff out there. Yeah. Find the clips, be into it. My number 3, I'm giving props to big time Becky Lynch. She really carried the division. She helped Bianca really establish her reign. And they had 2 excellent matches. She went away, and you don't come back as the man and get the pop you did. I got to give Becky Lynch. She's my number 3 on this list.
No knock. I probably 4 on my list.
Yeah.
Because of that match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
My number 2. I said it was one of my favorite storylines. It was a slow burn of Jamie Hayter. She's ending the year AEW champion. We saw it. She wasn't Britt. She wasn't Toni Storm. She wasn't Thunder. There was like just that slow build. I'm invested into that shit. I'm a 45-year-old man. I think she did what she needed to do. She's my number 2.
That's fair. My number 2 was Bianca. Bianca did wonders for WWE, set the foundation, carried the division for the year, had great rivalries with Becky, Asuka, Bayley, you name it, she did it. I give Bianca number 2.
Again, I wanted to find a reason, and I hate this, for Bianca not to, because she just carried the title for a fucking year. That's like, and it's not hate for Bianca. It's hate for the WWE. And I don't mean hate, but it was just like, all right, we knew this was going to happen. She got match of the year. She carried Becky. I'm not saying she carried Becky, because Becky carries everybody. Becky, they work. It was well. I had to. It was Bianca's division. Like, nobody touched her when Becky was out. Charlotte's been out. Bayley was away. Without that division, you sure as shit aren't relying on Ronda to carry the women's division.
Yeah, very true.
Bianca, female of the year.
All right, my number 1 female of the year. The build, man. Jamie Hayter is my number 1. I had to give it to her. The build up, for the same reason you talked Acclaimed, you talked about the build up of Jamie. She came out of literally nowhere to steal our hearts and the AEW women's title.
and then cancel going to WrestleCade.
And then cancel going just to spite Mark. But it's Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter did everything she needed to. She was fantastic. She's now the AEW's Women's Champion, and she's just going to have banger after banger after this. So I look forward to what she does in the new year.
Yeah, I'm excited. All right. Male of the Year. This is I think, I don't know if we're going to be on the same page here.
I don't know either, but I guess we're going to find out.
Is it me?
I think it's me.
All right, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Male of the Year. So my number 3, I don't think it's controversial. Maybe some people do. But man, he really turned things around when he joined the Bloodline. I got to give Sami Zayn props here. He carried. I'm giving Sami Zayn number 3 Wrestler of the Year. Listen,
I respect that.
He had an entertaining WrestleMania match, whether you liked it or not. The shtick worked with the entire Jackass crew. This whole Bloodline thing, we're all emotionally invested. He's there. We want what's best for Sami. Sami Zayn has carried this. Number 3 for me.
Yeah, I like it. I don't know why I didn't even think of that. Damn it. My number 3, Jericho.
Okay. Yeah.
Without a doubt. And it's probably right after. It's probably going to give away my number 1 right off the bat as well. It's right after the scrum, how him and somebody else took the company and ROH champion, and that was fun for a while, and now that Claudio has it, whatever. But, like, it was developing the ROH, and I think that really helped. And then what he did in the AEW after that scrum, and, like, yeah, Jericho has had a great year from Anarchy in the Arena and all of that. So, yeah, Jericho number 3. Probably one of the best years, I think, to make the list.
Yeah. Jericho top 4 for me. He did not make my top 3, but I agree with you. He had a phenomenal year. Resurgence, I think, of his career, because he's had a way better year this year than he had maybe in 2021 or 2020 at least. My number 2, Seth freaking Rollins. The man carried Raw. He's still carrying Raw. He showed that the United States title could act as the main title for that brand and not lose anything with it. He brought Cody back, had great matches with Cody until his injury. Whether we don't like him, but hey, Riddle, he got some good matches out of Riddle, at least a decent storyline with Riddle because of Seth freaking Rollins. So I got to give props to Seth freaking Rollins. Oh, and let's not forget the whole Shield incident at Royal Rumble, guys. I mean, I mentioned it earlier. Man, reinvented himself and is a master manipulator and of mind games. So I got to give Seth Rollins this credit.
Seth is my 4.
Okay.
But what you just said, the counterpart to that Shield.
Yeah.
2 years, the Bloodline. It's Roman. It's Roman at number 2 for me. I mean, a lot of people are like, why the hell is he not number 1? Well, because you'll find out here in a second. But Roman just continues. And I think he's growing. Even though he's getting time off, listen, his promos are awesome now. Yeah. Like, I don't think we ever would have said that 2 years ago, that Roman has good promos.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman is not needed anymore. No disrespect, because everybody loves him. He's not needed. Sammy is taking that spot, and Roman is just not force-fed. It's feeding us more, and so I have to give props to Roman.
I love it. He didn't make my list, and that probably gives away my number 1. But I love the Roman thought process on it, because hey, I loved how peak Roman and he's so comfortable in his role when he was mouthing off about Logan Paul not knocking him out, walking up the aisleway. Yeah, I love that. So I think it was the wrestling aspect. He just didn't have enough wrestling for me to examine. But agreed. I agree
with you there. No. I agree. Yeah. I had a look. I did a deep dive. And, the award of having as much as, like, I was agreeing with Jesse Beeler this week that the 2 titles things, like, I'm ready for that to be split up. I really am. And he did a shout out to Cardona having, if you haven't listened, he's like Cardona probably wrestler of the year, what he did in the independents.
Yeah.
Like, him and Seth were triggering 4 and 5, because I agree, Cardona had probably the best year of his life.
That's true.
And get ready, because if I'm going to get hate, it's going to be, again, but it wasn't seen.
Yeah.
It wasn't GCW, which some people don't know that GCW exists. NWA, he's doing stuff, and unless you have to deep dive to find it, yeah, he did stuff here, you know. I agree. If you're a mark and you deep dive into wrestling, Cardona had a fucking great year.
Agreed. Yeah.
But he just couldn't find it.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's a fair point. My number one.
Probably my number one.
I think it might be your number one. It's Jon Moxley. Without a doubt. I mean, the way he has stepped up after Punk got injured, ran with the title in the interim run, had to come back from his freaking vacation, not take that,
and Buffalo pissed off.
And Buffalo pissed off, had to run with the title for 3 months, drop it to MJF. The whole Regal turning on him thing, even though that was short-lived because of outstanding circumstances, still phenomenal. He delivered on every front imaginable. Anarchy in Arena. Yeah. The BCC forming at the beginning of the year with Danielson and him, he hit on all cylinders. It's got to be Mox.
To this past week of just beating the piss out of Top Flight.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And not having a care in the world about it either.
Yeah.
Looking like he was just collecting a paycheck and fucking people up.
Yeah, agreed. I have nothing else to say.
That's fair. All right.
We had a good run. We were close on. We are on the same page. I know I probably said the same thing last year, but like we weren't that different.
No, we weren't.
We would have been on. I've deleted mine as I went through because I'm mentally idiot. But yeah.
I think we changed the order on some of them, and I think it was only 1 or 2 that got interchanged out, basically. But we were basically on the same page with a lot of these, so I was surprised you did.
Ronda.
Listen, I got to give you props. Yeah, the hate for Ronda we're on the same, and Riddle we're on the same page with. I got to give you props though. The Becky Bianca match and love for Bianca. I know it's the WWE bias, and I know it's the thing about it, but I was surprised they made your number ones. I don't know. I'm proud of you.
When they carry a match, they carry a match. I have to give it to them.
Yeah, agreed. And honestly, I look forward to the next year because I think now we talked about this. We're outside that 6-month window. We're finally getting this Triple H visionary stuff coming down. It's going to be fun, and we know there's probably going to be additions coming in the new year, which might play into prediction time. So why don't we just
Chelsea Green? That's not even prediction. That's fucking
fact. Yeah, and I'm looking at the one I put in here, and I'm like, that's probably going to happen. So we'll see if that.
So how many do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4. I brought 5 to the table.
I got 5.
All right. I actually have 6, but I'm lying. I have 5. All right. Back and forth.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors. You guys can't see this. This is predictions. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
We got. Okay, I can't.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. You fucking kidding me? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. You go.
Paper. All right. I won. Well, I'm gonna get this one out of the way.
You won, so you should be able to pick. You have to pick over a rock. I don't care.
You go first. I'll let you go first.
No particular order here.
Yeah.
NWA closes its doors.
Okay. A lot of shit going on with it. Not a lot of great love for the
going on with it.
Yeah, a lot of shit going on with it. That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be sucked up by something or if it's, goes back to NWA West, East Coast, North Maple Street, anything like that. But I think Corrigan gets out and, it's just.
It's just time.
Yeah. And it hurts because there's a lot of talent that can go places. But I think at some point, NWA, I think they were doing better just on YouTube than on Fight.
Yeah. No, that's fair. My number 2, I'm going to consider it because you said it earlier in the show. I'm not going to consider it as bold, but I think it's coming. FTR is moving to WWE as the Revival. I think we're going to get them back. They were Trips' team. There's been a lot of fun. I got to go FTR. Goes back to WWE. So.
This was written. My predictions were written probably 2-3 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm not going to change it, but I'm going to change it. At first, my thing is CM Punk returns to WWE for one last run. But with the news that just came out that FTR has said, like legit, that came out today as we're recording, maybe a possibility of AEW or something like that. I would imagine that would be a go first, but I think Dax is going to speak to Trips when he gets to WWE to say there's money to be made here. So I'm going to stick with Punk to WWE for. I'm not saying it's going to be, a major run, but he's going to be back for a couple matches.
I'll get out of the way because I did Punk to WWE too. I think there's too much. To your point, there's too much money on the table. Dax is going to put in a good word, and let's be honest, the biggest reason Punk didn't get where Punk wanted to is gone now. Vince is gone. You can comment about, well, Triple H was involved. Triple H put himself over. Listen, Vince was making calls. Vince was the one making those final calls. And we've seen time and time again, Triple H has put over other stars. We talked about his golden shovel, what was that, 6-7 years ago or whatever it was. It's gone. It's been gone. It started going away with Roman and Seth and anybody that he started fighting that was younger than him. Triple H is putting people over. He needed to build those new stars, and now he's completely out of the picture. I think bygones become bygones. The old regime's gone.
Money.
It's money.
Fucking thought the Ultimate Warrior would have came back. Hogan would have been back. Exactly.
Money's to be made. We can put things aside. Punk to WWE. I don't know when it's going to happen, but there still has to be a buyout for it to happen. But it could happen the same time
FTR.
as FTR walks.
Yeah.
I mean, if we wanted to speculate, I'll throw this. I'm just making this one up on the fly right now, this bold prediction. You want to speculate he goes back to AEW, that's fine. Maybe it's a trios title rivalry where we got the Elite versus FTR and Punk.
Really?
That's money. That's money. That's money. It gets you you've just take full circle on the scrum. Everybody's involved. Revolution would be a hell of a pay-per-view to do a ride off into the sunset if you wanted to do something real quick.
Yeah.
And write it off.
Agreed.
So
here's my generic one. As you said, your FTR was kind of a generic one.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes has a monster year.
Yeah, that's fair.
Unbelievable monster year. Like, I think it was last year, and then the Peck. And I don't know if it was defeating Roman last year, but he was going to Seth into something else, and like the build for Roman was still going to happen.
Yeah.
I think we just didn't get the whole build for Roman. He's still going to win the Rumble. Still going to say, hey, I want one of the titles. And I want the WWE title because that's what my dad did have. This fucking Universal thing that you have means nothing to the Rhodes family.
Yeah.
So maybe Roman doesn't lose two. Maybe Roman does lose them both because he fights both nights.
Agreed. I could see that happening wholeheartedly. And I think there was a leaked card that said something about Seth for the WWE title. It was weird. It was unreasonable. I think it's all going to depend on if they get The Rock involved in the main event. If Rock's committed and Rock signed on, night one's Cody, night two's Rock, and Roman has to defend both titles. And he's going to lose one but not the other. and I don't think he's losing to Cody. So I agree with your monster year here. It's bound to happen. They were building towards it. It should happen this year now.
And that's a generic one. Everybody's like, no shit,
Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna go out on one. My next one. Let me mark these as I go. Oh yeah, I didn't have that. Okay. It hasn't happened yet. We know she's going to New Japan. We know my feeling is she's going to be Soraya's partner at some point. Is it on there? Oh, okay.
Here to go.
Well, I was taking it a step further, but I'm probably going to regret this like I'm regretting the Jade one. Mercedes is winning AEW Gold by the end of 2023. I think you debut her, and I think you give her, she's going to get the gold. That's too big of a name and too big of money left on the table not to put the world title on. So I think Mercedes is getting a world title by the end of 2023.
You want me to go farther than that with this whole thing? Because I have Saraya, Mercedes, tag team partners.
Yeah.
Them, okay.
Yep.
I say they have a match against each other by the end of the year.
Okay.
Saraya has already put everybody on notice. She wants the title. Jamie can have a run for a while.
Yeah.
Saraya and Mercedes can be buddy for a while. This wraps around to the fucking injury.
Yep.
Long-term storytelling that Mercedes helps Saraya beat Jamie. Then the turn happens. Remember when you fucking hurt me?
Yeah.
And then everybody's all about Mercedes. And Mercedes, by the end of the year, is AEW champion. Yeah.
That's a hell of a storyline. Yeah.
It
writes itself.
It writes itself.
Yeah. I like it.
We're either both right or we're both
Both right and wrong. I like it.
So
all right.
You're up again.
I'm up again. I'm going to go another champion route. I think, well, my last three are all champion routes. But I think Kevin Owens is getting a world title. I don't mean tag title. I think he's getting a world title by the end of the year. I think he might be the one to dethrone Cody when it's time. Like, they're going to give Cody an extended run, but I think by the end of the year, KO dethrones him.
Survivor Series or something.
Survivor Series, something like that at the end of the year. Yeah. Because I don't think Cody will have a decent run with it, but he's not going to have that long of a run with it.
Not the whole year.
Not the whole year.
I agree with that. I have somebody else winning a title as well.
We got
Eddie Kingston.
Okay.
The MJF Eddie Kingston wraps back around.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Quick though. Like
yeah.
It may be 2 weeks to a month. And then something just wraps back around. He gets stripped or we get whatever. But
yeah. I'm not saying this is when it's going to happen, but essentially a time frame saying Revolution and then St. Patty's Day, you flip it back. You would flip it back. So like 3 weeks. It's just a timing thing.
It could even be, what is it? Full Gear and then Winter's
Coming. Something like, yeah. Well, I hope it's not that, because that would defeat my main event for Full Gear, which I have on my paper right now, because I think 2023 is going to be the year of Wardlow, and it's MJF Wardlow at Full Gear 2023 for the world title. I think that needs to come full circle. I think the Wardlow, they cut his hair. It's whatever. There's a comeuppance for Joe probably at Revolution that's going to be on the line. So I truly think Wardlow's ascent to the top begins. Similar path maybe for Hayter, as Hayter did. Wardlow getting the world title shot in Full Gear 2023.
That your last one?
That was my first one, yeah. I threw in number 6 as well, because I made up one on the spot with the Elite versus FTR and the yeah.
I was gonna say, how am I on number 6 when I wasn't gonna announce number 6? Not number 6 anyway. I will be in the wrestling ring by the end of this year.
Feeling like Superman now? You get your appendix out and feel like Superman?
That match. It may be in March. We'll leave it at that. This is maybe a hedged bet.
So it's not a bold prediction per se.
Illegal?
That's like insider trading a little bit here.
Right.
Yeah.
Dang.
Okay.
The Office. Scranton. We'll leave it at that.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Pay attention. It's in the works.
Don't miss it.
I need at least one right, so I had to hedge my bet.
You have a lot of good ones. I don't know.
I have great ones. What are you talking about?
You have a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
What? I have a lot of good ones.
Better than last year's. I almost wrote, this is horrible, I almost wrote that Tesla was going to be in AEW again this year. I'm like, no, I can't.
You might as well just do it as a running joke at this
Right? It would be year 3.
Yeah. It would be the year you don't choose it. She ends up in AEW. So next year.
Yeah, next year. I love this show. I really love, even with you idiots not submitting it, Jenks and I had enough fun by ourselves. Whatever. I love Can Crusher Nation, but I wish we could do the Crushies every year. I mean, every month. We do it every year.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so much fun to see how far we're off or how far we're not off, and it's back-to-back years that we're fucking nuts on, and it's crazy. Like, we didn't talk to each other since I died and came back, and we're good to go.
Yeah, we are.
I understand your predictions. I really do.
Yeah, and I get yours, and I can't believe how I'm completely in awe at how close we are. I don't understand what fucking wavelength we were on.
I know. We're children. That's what it is.
We're wrestling children. We love this too much that we're on the same page.
For sure. All right. Listen, we'll be back on January 7th with a normal show. We have to start watching wrestling again, Jenks.
Yeah. Oh my God. What am I going to do?
What are we going to do? We'll be back on the 7th with a normal show. We'll be breaking shit down, still giving you our weekly predictions and how we hate stuff and everything like that. I really mean this. This is a good time. Guys, thank you. Thank you for riding with us all year. Thank you for the love and support. When Jenks has a sniffle, I have my appendix out, we have anything going on in our lives. It's just, if it's one email or 100 emails, and as much as I'm busting your asses, you guys didn't call in. Listen, I don't care. I love this. You guys listen. The numbers are out there. It's awesome. Thank you. As we head into essentially season number fucking 7.
Unreal.
On the back of a garbage truck. I mean, a couple seasons 1 and 2 were short because I wasn't sure how long I wanted a season, but essentially year 5, but season 7. Yeah, really a garbage truck guy talking wrestling, and the love and the support's there. And you see it from Collar and Elbow. You see it from people like Vinny Barry saying, man, we get sales from having idiots like you talking about our book.
Yeah.
I love you, Can Crusher Nation. I truly do. So thank you.
It's the passion that's paying off 100%. We love you guys in Can Crusher Nation. We love you for listening to us ramble on about our daily lives, our shit storms that we got going on, and our love for professional wrestling.
There's no fucking college football game till 2024 now.
Yeah. That just gives you more time to watch wrestling. That's all it is, Mark. We just got more time to watch wrestling. So thank you guys so much for a great year. And now we're kicking off season 7. Holy fuck. Lucky number 7.
Yeah. What are we going to do?
Who the fuck knows? We're going to find out.
We're going to go to WrestleCade in November. I'll tell you that right now. Remember, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things.
You're garbage can, not a garbage cannot. Happy New Year.
Guys, make sure you tell your loved ones you love them, because you never know.
Exactly.